Hello, hello. Um, what is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my channel. Uh, oh wow. I'm reading some comments. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, welcome to my channel. We will get to everything in a moment. This is my K-pop roundup live stream. Every weekend we go over the K-pop news, and then we also talk about the main things that I have in the topic, and you will see what the main topic is. We're going to be talking about Hive, and then we're going to talk about the Cat's Eye dust up that's just been nuts. It's just been crazy, and we're going to talk about that. But first, we're going to get to the things. So this is gather in. This is like a K-pop church. Gather in there, all parishioners. Govern yourselves. What accordingly? Govern yourselves accordingly. Govern yourselves accordingly. Don't come on my live stream with no kind of nonsense. And we will talk about the issues at hand. My name is Nomadic Kitty, otherwise named Kiki. I have a bunch of videos coming. Well, not a bunch, but several videos coming out this week. And so please make sure you like, share, subscribe to my channel. I did a video about Under 15, which is a K-pop survivor reality show that was actually canceled. It was supposed to come out in Korea. It was canceled. I did a whole semi deep dive about that. It's like a 9-10 minute video about that. I do have my Jin concert vlog up. If you have not already seen it, please go watch it. It's my concert vlog. And then I have another vlog for the Rose that I'm going to post sometime as I get through editing it, because it's almost back to school for my kids. And so life be lifing. Okay, y'all, life be lifing. Okay. So I don't do YouTube full time. This is just, I do have a career and a job and kids and all that other stuff besides. I only do this for fun. I don't get paid to do this. I'm not trying to be famous or a famous YouTuber. I just try to bring something different to the K-pop space and narrative. On my channel, I focus a lot. I don't really focus a lot on the artist. I actually focus a lot on the industry itself and trying to educate people about the music industry and the K-pop industry. I do it every Sunday, anywhere between 6 and 9 p.m. I'm trying to start doing these at 6 p.m. because, again, I would like to do other things than be on a live stream for 2.5 hours. So we're going to talk about, of course, the first thing we're going to talk about first is BTS. And then we're going to talk about some little quick hits that have happened in the K-pop world very briefly. And then we're going to get on to the meat and the potatoes. And then after that, it's the free-for-all, where you just get to talk about anything. Thank you, Nicole Lost. I don't know, Nicole, if you're still here or on here, read this. I appreciate you, and I thank you very, very much for that information in the comments. I appreciate it. But we're going to get to that in a moment. So BTS this week has been a lot of things. Who am I going to start with first? Let's start with Jin. BTS Jin is about to head to Amsterdam and London. I think, y'all correct me, because again, I'm gonna say it before, I'm gonna say my disclaimer. I do not follow BTS on Instagram or anything like that. I'm on Weverse. I'm Nomadic Kitty on Weverse, but I do not follow them on X. I do not follow Instagram. I'm not on Twitter or Reddit or Instagram or none of these. I hate social media with a complete passion of all of my soul. Hello, Odyssey. All of my soul, I hate social media. So I don't follow them. So I don't really know. People do post things on YouTube, like YouTube shorts, and they post videos. And that's how I kind of know what BTS are kind of doing, because you find people out there who have YouTube channels will post videos that y'all get off of TikTok or whatever, or you guys will post updates. So I did see that Jin, his tour is about to come to an end. Um, and again, I went to Jen's tour. I have a vlog, and I see that he's going to Amsterdam and London, I believe. And his tour is about to end, I think, within the next week or so, week and a half. And I'm sure Jen is going to take a little break and do other things. And then I know that he is probably most likely going to head to LA because they are recording an album. Hello, Eric Hickerson. They are recording an album. So I'm assuming that after Jen rests and do his thing with his consort, he's going to head to LA to start recording. So that's my guess, my educated guess. So that's Jen. BTS V, Kim Taehyung, he won an award the other day, this past week. He won some type of award. I forgot the name of it. Don't quote me on that. It's an award, and he wasn't there to pick up the award, but he was there in video to accept the award. He got, I think, our best like K-pop solo artist. I forgot what award it was, y'all. Don't quote me on that, but you can look it up. Also, Kim Tae-young V, there was a commercial that debuted, a Coca-Cola commercial. So he has a Coca-Cola um deal, which is huge. Even BTS doesn't have that. So that's huge. That's huge for, I mean, Coca-Cola is like big time money, big money. So Kim Tae-young, yes, he's in a new Coke, kind of cutesy Coke commercial. And so congratulations to him for and not just him, but for the PR people. Congratulations to the PR people. Let me just congratulations to the PR team because they are the real heroes in a lot of these situations. And we're going to talk about that later. But yes, Kim Tae-young has a new Coke commercial. And I think Kim Tae-young is overseas. I'm assuming he's not in LA, or maybe he's flying back as we speak back to LA. But BTS members have been going back and forth. And then we're going to J-Hope. J-Hope was in Germany. He was in Germany, did this interview in Germany with some German media outlet. I don't know. I don't speak German. They were speaking in English. But he was doing an interview and there's videos and stuff going around with him. And then I don't know where else he's going. J-Hope to me is everywhere and then nowhere all at once. J-Hope is here, there, everywhere. Like J-Hope is everywhere. J-Hope is everything. He's everywhere. Like every time I look up, J-Hope is doing something. Like I don't, you can't sleep on J-Hope because he was in LA, but then he flew, and so he J-Hope. You never know where he's gonna pop up next because him and Jen do a lot of PR and a lot of interviews, which is great. Which is great. I love that J-Hope is always out there doing things and gives a lot of his time to stay. And in between all these things, he's done Weverse lives and stuff like that. So J-Hope is just a man, like really. Jungkook, I haven't heard too much of this week from Jungkook. I do know that there is a member of Astro that he is friends with. I've learned, I forgot the guy's name. His name is Chun Woo, I think his name, that he's friends with, and he just went to the military. So J-Hope and V actually flew back to Korea. And I know Jungkook was there to wish his friend off well to the military. Isn't that sweet of him? So yes, he is friends with the member of Astro. I'm not too familiar with Astro like as a group, but I went online and looked it up because I was like, are they really friends? And apparently they've been friends for quite a long time. So he went all the way back to Korea to wish him well. Jimin has been pretty quiet. Jimin has been real quiet, y'all. Like Jimin hasn't, I haven't seen anything too much this week with Jimin. Same thing about well, R and then I would say RM and Sugar. I saw them flying in or flying out. I couldn't tell which one because it was in Korean and I didn't feel like translated that. But they flew in or out of LA, and maybe they went back to Korea to visit and they flying back to LA. I don't know. But like I said before, when they first announced that they were going to be doing an album and going to LA, I told everybody on my live stream that don't be surprised if they're going to be flying back and forth because it just is what it is. They're going to be going back and forth to LA. Hello, Marsha Brown. But yeah, so BTS have been going back and forth, back and forth. So I think that's all the BTS news that I have this week. I think I covered everything. Yeah, Jimin has been pretty quiet. Jimin has been real quiet, so I'm assuming that he's working hard on doing whatever he's doing. So, but that's the quick hits with the members of BTS. What else has happened in K-pop this week? TXT, I have a bunch of fond, warm. TXT gives me warm feeling in my chesticles because TXT was the first K-pop group concert I ever went to. I never liked K-pop until TXT. I said it over and over again that TXT opened my eyes. I really like their music. They've come out with a new album. If you have not heard, there's a song called Beautiful Stranger that is very TXT sound. TXT has a very distinct, unique sound. And I don't know who their producers are. I know that they write their own music, but they have a very distinct sound that I like. And they have a song called Beautiful Stranger out, and they have a bunch of other like little solo songs on their new album. So please go check them out and support them. And Taehyung, not Kim Tae-young, but Taehyung of TXT did an interview where he was saying something about that like they wouldn't be there or wouldn't do what they do if it wasn't for Black music, if it wasn't for African Americans. And that caused like an uproar. I don't understand why this would cause an uproar because I guess some people, I didn't even read it. I just was like, once again, getting exasperated with K-pop. The fact that he said something, um, people saying, well, he should have said more. The fact that he even said something was admirable to me. That makes me love TXT even more. But the fact that he brought it up on his own, like nobody asked him, he just brought it up and was like, yeah, like if it wasn't for Black folks, we wouldn't be here. I was like, well, okay. And then people were criticizing him. There's nothing to criticize. It's not like, y'all, it's not like this is a secret. Like, ooh, can't say that. And I understand people like, well, he should have said more and da 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 da. Like, we don't know. I'm baby steps, baby steps. Calm down, sit down, baby steps, baby steps. And so I appreciated what he said and just acknowledging it and just being absolutely positively real. Like, if it wasn't for American music, especially Black R&B, soul, we really wouldn't have careers. Like, I don't understand why that would even be controversial because the history of K-pop, which by the way, if you look at my playlist, I did a whole playlist about the history of K-pop and how K-pop originated, which is from soldiers from America being stationed in South Korea, which they're still stationed there. But that's how it started in the 90s. That's how DJing and started with the hip hop community. The foundation of K-pop is hip hop. Um, a lot of people like there is a huge underground rap scene. I've said it before in South Korea. There's a huge underground rap scene in South Korea. And a lot of these underground rappers have a huge chip on their shoulder because they are the progenitors. They are the front line of K-pop, of pop music and K-pop music. If it wasn't for the Korean hip hoppers, there would not be no K-pop. If it wasn't for the Black American GIs stationed in Korea wanting to go to clubs and missing their music back home and bringing their music with them, there would be no K-pop. So I can understand why some people, even in Korea, a lot of the hip hoppers, the underground hip hoppers, kind of have a chip on their shoulder because they are the granddaddies. They are the progenitors. They are the foundation of K-pop. Um, and so the underground hip hoppers, I've talked about them before, kind of feel like that K-pop has kind of like left them behind in some ways and kind of like bastardized their form of hip hop. So in Korea, you got these whole underground hip hoppers and rappers who are like hip hop purists who hate K-pop. They hate it. Hello, Joe. They hate it. They hate K-pop. Like they have a chip on their shoulder. So those of you who are BTS Army, under, I didn't really get how deep it was until I started deep diving, and so you know. So the fact that Taehyung from TXT acknowledged, you know, the foundation of Black music, it's a step in the right direction. And I've said in this subject, I'm just going to talk about it a little bit because I can go on and on about this subject all day. The fact that somebody said something was good, but I also go by what people do. So it's not what you say to me, it's what you do. A lot of I can't name many artists because again, I'm a casual K-pop fan of other groups. But I can say again, I go back to BTS. I hate to bring back BTS because y'all be like, well, here we go with BTS again. I'm not saying BTS are perfect, y'all, but I know the most, I can just go by what I know the most. For me, BTS is always proof in their actions of how to me that they value diversity. To me, BTS don't have to come out and do press conferences and be like, "Oh, thank you, Black people. Hug a Black person today." Mwah. Like they don't have to do all of that. To me, BTS is the proof of the things that they have done. One thing I like to tell people: do y'all not understand that like before BTS, there was not that many Black choreographers in Korea. Like there's a lot of poppers and lockers and hip hop dancers in Korea. They've been there for over 20 years, even since the 90s. There's always been hip hop. There's always been hip hop dancing. There's always been popping and locking and breaking. There's a whole like break dancing cruise in South Korea that's been there for like since the late 90s. And so possibly even earlier. That's as far as I know. You know, I'm not the expert on it. But I tell people that despite all of that, do y'all not understand that like there wasn't that many Black choreographers in South Korea working on K-pop. There was most of the choreographers, especially talking about 10 years ago, were Korean choreographers and Korean backup dancers. Do y'all not know that BTS have brought in choreographers from all over the world and really opened the market up to Black choreographers? Like they talk about the lady that was a choreographer for the song On, like that. I think her name is Sienna, I think that's her name. That she works with Hive and works with girl groups and boy groups. And she broke into the business because of BTS. That when J-Hope gets on stage, and I've said it before and I can't say it enough, that when J-Hope goes on a world tour and he has backup dancers that are all different colors, that was something that kind of BTS pioneered, because K-pop singers and Korean groups were not doing that. They were not having music videos with white people, Hispanic people, Latinos, Black people in the background. BTS pioneered it. If you go back and watch their videos and you see how diverse that is, as opposed to a lot of the singers around that time that were very Korean oriented, you can see how BTS has broken the business open. So it's not, to me, what you say, it's what you do and how you do it. And BTS has put in a lot of work. Like whether it's, like I said, I don't know who to thank. I don't know who to thank. I don't know if this is Bong PD, this is the producers, this is BTS requesting it themselves. I don't know who to give credit to. Maybe it's everybody. But the reason why a lot of the reason why BTS has struck a chord with audiences worldwide is because their abject diversity in their music videos. And like I said, for me going back and being new army and watching the videos all the way from the beginning till now, I have seen the progression of it. Like if you go back, I'm one of these people, I'm a detail oriented person. I look at things. I look at the background dancers. I look at the concerts and the tours. Who's dancing in the background? What city is this in? Who that? Who that? Who choreographed this video? Who was the choreographer? Like these are things that I look at very, very closely. And I could see that like when BTS started doing it, then everybody else kind of started falling in suit. And that's kind of what a lot of things that happen with BTS. When BTS does things, then other groups kind of think, oh, well, I guess it's okay. Because again, knowing the things that I know about the Korean industry, having foreigners on stage with you at, with on KBS or MBN was not really a thing. Was not a thing. It's just something that nobody ever thought of. Because again, they weren't trying to appeal to a global market. Because BTS is trying to appeal to a global market, somebody in marketing and PA and artist management, somebody was like, well, you know what? If we're trying to appeal to global people, we got to have some dancers in the background that ain't just all Korean. Which was a brilliant PR move, but it's also brilliant in bringing in people from all over the world and giving them an opportunity. Like I said, I will never stop singing the praises of J-Hope, of doing something, of going out and picking dancers himself, not a producer doing it, not Bong PD, not a management person, but him himself going, I want these female dancers. I want these male dancers. I'm going online and I'm finding the best of the best. And I want them to go, not just be in my music videos as props and to use them to market, but I'm taking them on tour with me. And we're going to ride this thing on out, and giving choreographers a chance in Korea. Because again, as a dancer, I'm not a dancer, but I can know people who have been dancers in the industry. And as somebody who knows people, that it's really, really hard to get jobs outside of America if you don't have a certain look. And that's just the honest to God truth. And there's still a lot of xenophobia, racism, and colorism in the business. And then when you're going to Korea, it's even more so. It's even more insular. It's kind of like everybody know everybody else. You don't speak the language. You don't, you're a foreigner. You're an outsider. So it's like they're not going to give you a chance because they're like, well, you don't really speak the language, and you don't, how you going to? But now the door has been blown wide open. So Stray Kids, ATs, and other groups, they use choreographers from all over the industry, and people get a reputation. It's who you know, not what you know. Right? There's a lot of nepotism in the business, especially in South Korea, where I tell people it is very close knit in South Korea. The industry is small. It's not as big as LA or in America in the West here. Is yes, like Marsha said, it's who you know, not what you know. And so if you know people, like you have the language barrier, and then you have people that have formed relationships with SM and YG and Hive, and then they have friends that work there. They have brothers and sisters that may be trainees. They have friends who have trained trainees. They went to school with certain people. So it's like if you're outside of that, it's kind of hard for you to break into the business in South Korea. And BTS has done that. And BTS has done that again by not grandstanding and saying things, but they've shown proof. And to me, proof is where the money is at. Anybody can get up here and say anything, but the proof is where the money is at. If you are employing diverse groups of people and people are making money and they have opportunities to expand their brand and make more money and go dance here and dance there, like the young lady who danced with J Hope, she's a Latina. So now, because she's so famous, Alyssa, she now is broken opportunities for her to go work with other groups. She has a dance studio. She can be a choreographer behind the scenes for other groups in South Korea. That brings more income, that expands her career, and then she in turn can bring up her students with her. So it's not just about one person and one thing. It's about elevating people and bringing talented people from diverse different backgrounds and what they can teach each person and what they can do for the group or the band or the solo artist in the industry. So that's what I really appreciate, that Hive in particular has been very global. So I really appreciate that. And speaking of global, um, Hive has really decided to expand their operation. So we're going to talk about Hive operation really quickly. Hive is really doing things, and the more Hive does things, the more scared I get. What Hive is really, they are really pushing themselves as like trying to be the Korean version of Sony or Warner Brothers. Like I wouldn't be surprised, y'all, if Hive started getting into like music video production, TV shows and stuff like that. Like Hive is really trying to be a mover and shaker in the industry. And it seems like the more that they expand, the more people are trying to F with them. Like I admire them. I don't want them to expand too fast because it takes a lot of revenue and a lot of money to expand. But I see what Hive is doing. So I see I see what they're doing, but they're really, really, really expanding outside of K-pop. Or outside of music. They got Hive Latin America, Hive America, then they go into India, because that's a rich untapped market. But again, I have mixed emotions regarding that. I think that like I don't know. It just seems like the more Hive expands, the more crazier it gets. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if Hive starts to get into more things. But then I don't want Hive to be like YG, because YG did this a few years ago where they expanded and they were managing K-drama actors and they were doing all kinds of things. Okay. And so YG ended up, I think YG owned like a golf company. Like it was just really bizarre. Like YG bought up a bunch after Blackpink blew up like 5, 6 years ago. They just bought up a bunch of little companies and they ended up shutting down a lot of them last year because they weren't making them no money. So YG has lost a lot of money just because I think they expanded too quickly. And so I don't want Hive to I hope they know they got people that really know what they're doing and have a good business plan. Because when companies start expanding very quickly and not taking steps, then they end up collapsing and it's never good. And I don't want Hive to just get too big and collapse and end up losing a bunch of money. That's not good for the artist. That's not good for the company. It's not good for anything. But I mean, y'all don't be surprised. Hive are behind the scenes making moves and in front of the scenes making moves. So they're expanding, and they're doing auditions right now. They're asking people to send in videos and tapes and email them. So again, if you have some sort of talent, singer, dancer, musician, whatever, they're taking it all. They're looking for the next global group. They're looking for the next global band. They could be looking for actors and actresses. They could be looking for social media influencers. I'm hearing all kinds of things that Hive are looking for. So I don't know. So y'all better get ready because Hive is on the scene. And so I wish them well in their expansion. So that's number one. And speaking of Hive's expansion, let me see, do I have any other stories besides that? Before I get to the Hive expansion, let me just peruse through my uh stories before I get to talking about Hive, because Hive is in trouble. Once again, Hive is in trouble. Hive is definitely in trouble. Okay. So I won't get into the Illit thing. I won't even dignify that with an answer about the Illit controversy right now. And people going after this little girl, and her name is Moan, and she's like my favorite in Illit. I think she's absolutely gorgeous. Her little face is so gorgeous. And I just can't even um oh, the other thing that have kind of, I'm looking through the things that happen in the um um what I haven't talked about is Vicha, which is the group, the global group from JYP. Vicha, they lost another member. This is 2 weeks ago, and I didn't talk about it. But Vicha lost another member. Yeah, KG from Vicha. I did a live stream where I was talking about KG from Vicha, how she was suing JYP, saying mistreatment or whatever. And I sat there and read the whole court documents. If you go back into my weekly K-pop playlist, you will see this couple months ago. The I think they're supposed to go to court. I think later this month. I think they're supposed to go to court, but I got to look it up and do a follow up to that. But Vicha is a five, I believe 5, 6 member girl group, and then one of them sued saying that she was mistreated and she had receipts. All kinds of shenanigans went on. Look it up. But another member of Vicha has left. VCHA is pronounced Vicha. But another member of Vicha has left. So there is another member, I forgot her name, but she left. But she didn't sue. They agreed. JYP agreed to let her out of her contract. So the future of Vicha, if you were a Vicha fan, I don't know what to tell y'all, because apparently this group, they haven't come out with no music. Nothing has happened with Vicha. They've been dead. They've been DOA, dead in the water, like DOA. Ever since. I don't know if they're still living, and they were living in a house in California. I don't know if they're still living there. I don't know. But all I know is another member has left. And so what the future of Vicha is, we don't know. You know, JYP has put in a lot of money, millions of dollars for this group, set them up in a house in Hollywood. They're in America. They were training in America, doing the K-pop style, and that was part of the problem. But why KATSEYE has flourished, Vicha has just been just aimless, like aimless. And I feel bad for the girls. Um, I don't know. And then we don't know. There hasn't been any announcements or anything that I've heard of what's the future of the group is. Are they going to replace the KG and this other girl? I don't know. But good luck, Vicha. You know, like I said, I kind of see like they're either going to rebrand or rework the group, or they're just going to disband them. I don't know. I can't see JYP disbanding the group. I can see them reworking the group and maybe adding some more members and just rebranding and then re-debuting, because they did debut. Um, but like the whole thing, I have to do a video on it, because the whole when I went and read months ago, the whole thing was just a hot mess from the beginning. From the beginning, Vicha was just a hot mess from the beginning. So, um, I'll try to come back and do a video about them, about their history of the group, because it was quite interesting, and I just think that they were kind of doomed to fail. Like the whole concept, and you know, it's something there. It's good, but then I just think that they just didn't really have a solid foundation in JYP, and I think JYP was trying to mimic what KATSEYE was trying. I don't know who came out first, Vicha or KATSEYE. I don't know who came out first, so I can't sit there and say that Vicha was trying to copy KATSEYE or KATSEYE copying Vicha. I think they came out right around the same time. But I think Vicha's been seriously mismanaged and just mangled. And it's just been a waste of money if JYP, their agency, doesn't get it together. They don't get this together. They've just wasted these girls' time and these girls' potential. And they're talented young ladies. Like I watched some of the clips of them singing, and They're pretty talented. So I can't say that they are untalented young ladies. They're very talented. But I just think the way JYP is just going about this whole entire thing is just I don't know who's advising him. I don't know. Maybe he's advising him. Maybe JYP himself trusted the managers and choreographers to kind of handle this, and it just has not worked out the way that they thought it has. So then let's go on to the next subject. So let's talk about All Day Project, or I like to say All Day in the Projects. But All Day Project is a five-piece co-ed group. There are three ladies, two dudes. I did a whole video about All Day Project and my thoughts about the situation. They have been mired with controversy after controversy ever since their debut. I think they debuted like in May. It hasn't been that long, but they came out with uh two songs, and they're popular in Korea. As to why they're popular in Korea, I'm still kind of like still trying to figure it out. There aren't any co-ed groups. There's only one other co-ed group in South Korea, and that's Card. And Card is very popular overseas. And Card came out with a new song called Touch, and that was like went up the charts too. They were like number 20 on the charts. But of course, Card is with a small agency, and they don't have the PR machine that the Black Label has. The Black Label is owned by YG. And so Card don't have the money, the backing, the finance like All Day Project does. But Card has been around for 8 years, y'all. I didn't know Card been around that long. I thought they've been around 5 years. No, they had their 8 year anniversary. They've been together that long, which is amazing for any group, but any doubly amazing for a group with a small label, especially a co-ed group. But yes, Card has been around 8 years. I saw Card in concert a couple of years ago, and they were fantastic. Card is a bit more adult. They're a bit more for grown folks. So their music is a bit more mature, and a lot of their fans have been with them for a long time. But I went to their concert. They have done like BM of Card, which writes a lot of their music. BM is incredibly talented, incredibly talented. And he has done songs for other groups, like Young Posse and a bunch of other songs. He's worked with J Park and everything. And BM came out with his own solo album. He wrote and produced his own solo album. He is very talented. Reminds me of Suga from BTS. BM can sing, he can rap, he can dance. He was born in Los Angeles, American born Korean guy, and real cool guy. I know people that have met BM, and he's a real funny cool guy. And so Big Matthew or BM, he a Card is the real deal. And so Card got a song out called Touches Up. And then All Day Project came out, like I said, in May, I believe. And they came out, one song was okay. And then they came out with another song called Famous that went up the chart. And then they performed live in Korea and stuff like that. The controversy regarding All Day Project is mostly centered around, mostly, but there's other things, about one member named Tarzan. First of all, when I went and did some research, because when I did my video like a couple of weeks ago about All Day Project, I didn't know a lot about that group. So I went in and did some research, okay? This dude Tarzan, I forgot what his real name. He's on social media doing stuff. He used to be a model. When he was a model like 2 or 3 years ago, he didn't look like that. He didn't act like that. He didn't sound like that. He didn't. This dude now got cornrows in his head, talking about yo. He wasn't like that 2 years ago. I've seen a lot of his modeling stuff. I even went back and looked at his Instagram posts from years and years ago. He was not like this. So that's why people are mad at YG, because YG seems to be the #1 cultural appropriation offenders. But YG keeps doing this type of stuff over and over again. Again, I don't know who to blame on this one. I have a hard time blaming the artists, especially with new groups. I have a hard time blaming the artists when artists do stupid stuff like this. I look at the agency like, okay, you gonna do something about this? Because a lot of times these artists don't even sneeze, especially new ones, without the agency knowing. I didn't know Bailey. I didn't know Bailey was I didn't know Bailey was in this group. Bailey. I know Bailey because of Jackson Wang. Okay. That's how I know. I know Bailey. Bailey because of Jackson Wong, because she was a choreographer. I know Bailey because I didn't know that was Bailey. Like I watched the group and I was like, who is this pretty girl? And I was like, that's Bailey. I was like, then I watched the video about the group and I'm like, that's Bailey? Like Bailey is a really prolific choreographer. She's been dancing since she was 5 years old. She is the best, the one of the best choreographers and dancers that I've seen. Period. Period. Like Bailey's she's been in and around the K-pop group. I mean, Bailey didn't work with Beyonce. She's worked with Rihanna. As to why Bailey is in this group, I almost lost my mind. My mind was blown. I was like, wait a minute, that's Bailey? I didn't know, because your eye can't miss her. It automatically goes to her. Bailey herself is one of the most talented people I have ever seen in the pop industry. She's already famous. Like Bailey literally could go do anything except for be in this group. Like I got even more incensed about All Day Project. I was like, what is Bailey? How much are they paying her? Because I was dumbfounded that Bailey would be in a K-pop group. I was like, this has to be a dream of hers. In my mind, I'm still trying to rational why this person, who is one of the most prolific talents dancers that I have ever seen. Again, I'm not in those space. I'm not into music and choreography. I'm not into none of that. But I know who Bailey is. I've seen features with her in it. She has millions of followers online. I'm like, girl, why are you in this damn group? Like, I had to get my mind right, because I was like, why is she in this group? I was like, I don't know if she running out of money. I don't know if she lost a bet. Girl, I don't know why Bailey is in this group. Bailey outshines all of them. All of them. All of them. Okay. There's the other girl who was gonna be an Illit, but she dropped out for some reason. She didn't want to be an Illit. And you can tell I watched a bunch of their videos lately. She should still be an Illit, okay? Because she kind of sticks out. Then there's the Annie Moon chick whose grandfather started Samsung. She's a Chabo. I don't know why she's in the group. I'm like, girl, you rich. Okay, do you? We all got dreams. We all got dreams. Maybe it was her dream to be in a group. She's literally, her granddaddy Samsung. She is her mom owns audit. I like, girl, why you in this group? Why you? I don't understand. Let me just go on the record and say, I don't understand why any Chabo or any billionaire kid would want to be a K-pop singer. Somebody need to sit there and explain this to me. There is no reason why any rich kid should want to be in a K-pop group. It's weird to me. But hey, do you? Who am I to judge? I'm not going to judge. I'll reserve my judgment at a later day. But I don't understand. But there's plenty of them. She ain't the only one. There are other rich kids that have been in K-pop groups in the past, in the present, and probably in the future. So I'm not here to judge. But again, if I was a parent and I had that much money, I would look at my child like, unless they had real talent, I'd be like, okay, and why, honey, you want to be in a K-pop? But in the court, in this Sarah Moon, and then the chick that's in All Day Project, who's the Chabo kid, the Nepo baby or whatever. I hate the term Nepo baby, by the way. It just sounds weird. But like, apparently, like, she's not that great. And I watched her and I'm like, she all right, but it's not like, I said, girl, just do you. Just do you, girl. I'm not going. And then. So there's Bailey. There's former Illit chick, Chabo daughter, Chabo granddaughter, and then there's one dude in there that he was on another survival show, and then there's culturally inappropriate ass Tarzan. So those 5 people make up All Day Project. And again, I didn't realize this until I sat there and somebody else, another YouTuber, I forgot her name, but I ran upon it. She did like a whole 40-minute video about them. Then, again, back to Tarzan. Tarzan recently got into some trouble because he was rapping an A$AP Rocky song, and then they said they accused him of saying the N-word, and I listened to it, and I didn't hear that. Maybe some people heard something I didn't hear, but they said that he was singing some other verse, and he said the N-word, and I listened to it. I didn't hear him say that. So to give him some credit, I didn't hear that. So I do have to say, I listened to it. I put my headphones on. I was put my headphones on. I was like, okay. And so I can't really go there. But I have to say again, what I've said before, and I'm gonna say it again. Sorry, my Weverse is going out. Cat's eye. I said before, and I'm gonna say it again, that Tarzan is not authentic. If he was just one people, because people were saying, well, he grew up in America. He did not grow up in America. He did go to school in America, I think, for 2 to 3 years. So just because you go to school in America, you can be born and raised in America. Still doesn't excuse it. So just because he went to America 2 to 3 years and he was a fan of A$AP Rocky and Lil Wayne, that's nice. So is a lot of other people. Okay, great. What does that mean? So again, my litmus test is, did you come out like this? No. Again, and I hate to bring it back to BTS. God knows, y'all, I know this kills some of y'all. But again, RM and Sugar are real rappers. Tarzan from All Day Project is not a real rapper. He was a model. He wasn't out here in the underground rap scene making beats and rhymes in his basement and starving or whatever. He's not a rapper. He's not in the hip hop scene. He never was. He was a model. He was just a regular Korean dude until leading up to becoming a trainee for All Day Project. Then he changed his persona. That's how you know it's inauthentic in his cosplay. So the proof is in the history, regardless of whether people think it's cultural appropriation or not. That's the other issue. The biggest issue is it authentic for him? Again, I point out, Jay Park is really Jay Park. Jay Park grew up in America. Jay Park has always been a little hood. Jay Park has grew up around that culture. Okay. BM of Card grew up in LA. When he goes back to LA, you see his friends. He was in a hip hop dance group in LA with Latinos and Asian people. He grew up around that type of culture and that type of music. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with people who are authentically part of another race or community who grew up around Black folks. Again, I'm going to say it again. Let's take it personal. For me, my late husband grew up around Black people. He went to school in an all-Black neighborhood. Him and his sister grew up in an all-Black neighborhood. Their parents live in an all-Hispanic, all-Black neighborhood to this day. They went to all-Black schools, all-Black and Latino schools. That's what they hung around. That was the culture that they were brought up in. I'll give you grace on that one. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're authentic. Do you? Go with God. But I can't deal with somebody who didn't grow up around Black people and Black culture, all of a sudden now adopting it when they get to be in a K-pop group or they get to be famous or they get to be whatever. Because again, looking at Tarzan's Instagram and stuff like this, 3-4 years ago, he wasn't that. He was like a normal Korean guy. Now all of a sudden he got cornrows and he's using ninja emojis and I'm like, wait a minute. This is cosplay. This is an act. This is not a culture that he grew up with. Do you have any Black friends? That's my question. Which is not a litmus test for anything, but I'm just like, do you even know any Black people to be doing all this? Like, I tell people that's a litmus test. You can argue with people online about cultural appropriation all day long, but the proof is in the pudding. You can't adopt one persona at one time and then all suddenly, bam, now you wearing cornrows and you sagging and you eating chicken and waffles. Bitch, please. Like 2 years ago, you were a normal person. 2 years ago, you grew up in Korea around Koreans. 2-3 years ago, you weren't that. Again, that's the litmus test for me personally. If you ain't been on that, and then now you come adopted, it's inauthentic. And I've said before and said again, K-pop groups who do this type of things are not going to succeed internationally. They will not. They cannot, because international audiences are like, this is corny. She said Here, my brother-in-law is one of the most 100% black white men I know. I made my late husband rest in peace. I love him to death. But my late husband was down for the brown all day, every day. Lived it, understood it. I wouldn't have married him if he wasn't. I wouldn't have married my late husband if he was just cosplaying or just pretending to act a certain way to be with me or to just fit in. This is my late husband, my sister-in-law who watches my channel. The one I go to concerts with, the one you just see the back of Jennifer walking. When I know she's gonna kill me when she hears this. But I do concert, but my sister-in-law, even she don't like stuff. She gets so annoyed by All Day Project. And she's white. And she's like, they stealing from black culture. Even she understands and recognizes that. She hates it. She hates the cultural appropriation. She hates when Korean singers pretend to be black. She's white. And she's like, that shit is just fucked up. I'm like, right. Because she understands that it's not authentic. It's not real. And for her to understand it, international audiences also understand it. So All Day Project will never, ever be popular internationally unless they drop that, they cut the bullshit and move on. And again, it is the agency that is backing this up, y'all. So don't y'all ever believe that the artist just came up. I don't believe for 1 second that this dude Tarzan came up with his name, until I have further evidence, I might change my mind, but I don't believe that this kid, and I say kid because he's a young man, came up with this by himself. I believe that Black Label, YG or whatever, pushed him towards this because they believe that controversy sells. Because they believe that this is going to get them attention. And then we can talk about musically about All Day Project. Their music ain't even all that. I listen to their songs and I'm just like, okay. All right. The dancing was good. I watched the music video. The dancing was good. I saw them live. They have no chemistry. And be it for me to pick it out, but I saw them live. The music video was cool, but when I saw them live, they had no chemistry. They had none. Like I'm watching them right now. They have not one. They have one sense of chemistry on stage. It just looks like 5 people just dancing and just, that's it. I didn't see no chemistry. I didn't see no camaraderie. Like I said, maybe as time goes on because they're a new group, but I just saw a bunch of awkwardness. It was a bunch of awkwardness and weirdness. I'm like, okay. They were just awkward on stage. And I was like, oh, y'all ain't gonna make it. And again, they've only come out with 2 songs and they have people defending them like they're Jesus. They had 2 songs. 2. That's it. And people are out here defending this like they're the second coming of BTS or some shit. I'm like, y'all, All Day Project has had 2 songs. Like, they ain't even came out with a full album. They had 2 music videos. Y'all are out here like they've been around for decades. And again, I believe that some of this online is YG's tricks and propaganda. I believe some of that because some of the comments I've read, these are the same comments that go from video to video defending this group. The All Day Project, I'm here to tell y'all, is smoke and mirrors and fuckery. That's what it is. There's no way that this group, they got all these fans and everything. Their music ain't even that great. Their concept ain't, it's just something new because K-pop has painted themselves in a corner by doing these cookie cutter groups that when something new does come out, again, newish, because All Day Project is not new. Their music ain't inventing anything. They're not that great. Their raps are lame and the stuff that they talk about is lame. And again, the problem I have with K-pop, another part of All Day Project that I have a problem with, these people were all internet famous before they got into this group. The Chabo, Annie Moon, whatever her name is, she had a million followers online and she's at Chanel. She's a rich girl. Of course she's going to be at Chanel. Like, I'm not faulting her. Bailey, well-known in the industry, choreographer, lots of followers online. Bailey's already famous. Again, Lord help me, Jesus. Please figure out why Bailey is in this group. Please, somebody, if you have a reason why Bailey is in this group, let me know in the comments. Let me say, Keisha, this is the reason why Bailey, if somebody call Bailey and get her on my video and be like, girl, explain it to me. Because I really want her to explain to me why she is in this group. because she doesn't need this group. Or does she? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like if you're that prolific of a dancer and a choreographer and you work with Beyonce, bitch, why are you in this group? Like, why? Like, did you lose a bet? Like, I'm like, did she lose a bet? Did she owe somebody some money? Did somebody like blackmail her? Like, girl, you better be in this group, girl. You better get over here, you know? Because I'm like, who talked her? How much money is she getting paid? Who talked her into being in this group? Then the other inlet girl, I don't even know how she got in the group. I'm just like, why are you here? The other inlet girl is over here like this, still doing inlet. You know, she over here. Like, she just looked like she don't even belong in the group. I'm like, girl, can you even sing like her? I don't know. I'm like, again, I'm not trying to diss her. And then the other dude, he's been on like 3 survival show. I don't know why and then Tarzan, why are you? He was a model. So all of these people had some type of following online, and there goes I'm not going to try to rant about K-pop because it's for another video another time. But I understand the marketing strategy. I understand why labels do this. I get it. I understand. I get it. But it doesn't mean just because I get it and understand it doesn't mean I don't like it. These people already have millions of followers online. This is like a agency's wet dream. So they want these artists to have like a bunch of followers and shit like that. But again, just because it happens to be that way, it don't mean I gotta like it. Okay. But I don't like the fact that then all of a sudden you bring the millions of followers to the group, but there's no musical integrity. The music is not good. It's just a bunch of people who follow them on Instagram that are like, oh, they're wonderful. And I'm like, if this was another group, if this was some Nugu group that came out with the same songs, who didn't have millions of followers already before the group was formed, everybody would be like, the song would be mid. They'd be like, it's all right. The music video wasn't even all that. I'm like, damn, I didn't see that hyping videos from 5 years ago better than this shit. I was like, I didn't see some hyping videos better than that. I didn't see some Stray Kids God's Menu with the slaps harder than this, didn't it? I'm like, can we go back to God's Menu? That video was on point. I'm like, people was doing videos 5 years ago that was good. I was like, this is what y'all. I was like, K-pop, Korea. I can't even say K-pop, Korea. Really? The truth is, Marcy talking about killing you. It's true. I'm like, Stray Kids God's Menu was a good video. They doing like all day project. Like, this is the second coming of AT's video. I'm just like, I said, damn, I done seen some. I'm like, damn, No More Dream was better than that. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, such a lot. I'm like, damn, have y'all seen No by BTS? Because that was a good video. I was like, y'all, all day. I was like, I done seen some BTS performance videos better than that shit. I was like, I see some BTS performance videos that was really better than that. Like, people was going crazy over this video, and I'm like, it's half the damn video is AI. I'm like, okay, half the video is AI. I'm like, really, y'all? They like, ooh, all day project famous. I'm watching the video going, this AI mess? Girl, bye. Get. I was like, if y'all don't get off my, that's why I can't deal with social media. Cause I would have been cussed somebody out a long time. Like, I'm like, this your king? This your king? All day project. Famous. Ooh, this video. I'm like, okay, I'm all ready to watch it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, good. There's a lot of AI in it. There's a lot of, okay. I've seen that in a video. Seen that before in another video. Seen that in another video. So basically, they just took elements from lots of other videos and then put a bunch of AI in it. I was like, congratulations, ta-da. I'm supposed to be like, ooh, that's so wonderful. It's not, I can go all day. Okay. Let me stop. I can go on and on about All Day Project, y'all, because I'm just like, and so I was like, Black Label, y'all must be paying a lot of money for PR. That's all I got to say. I hope it's money well spent, because again, I was like, boy, y'all must be paying y'all PR budget. for All Day Project because the way people be going online and defending them, I'm like, they've come out with 2 songs. 2 songs. They performed on stage and I'm going, oh, okay. They horrible on stage. Horrible. There's no chemistry. Bailey carrying the whole. I watched videos, all of them. Every live performance they did, I watched it a couple of days ago. Bailey carried the whole performance. She carried all of it. Tarzan, he can dance. I'm not gonna stop him. But all the other ones, it was just awkward. Then I've seen them interact a little bit online together, and I was like, this is what y'all, y'all, okay. Yeah. I was like, this is it. This is the bar, ladies and gentlemen. The bar is real. Now K-pop is so formulaic and so basic that the bar is real low. You can come up with any gimmick and any something that's something, and people are like, ooh, wow, oh my God. I'm like, okay. But I'm gonna get off that and leave that alone. Let's go on to the biggest chunk of the chunk is Hive. So Hive, once again, Hive is in trouble. I don't even know what to say at this point. You know, people blaming Minhee Jin, people blaming the media, people blaming the shaman. I blame the shaman. I'm on the record while saying over and over again every week I come on here and I'm like, y'all, is it the shaman? And y'all think I've lost my damn mind. Y'all like, whatever, Keisha, whatever. It doesn't exist. Whatever. Every week I'm like, is it the shaman? Because y'all think I'm tripping. Is it the shaman? Because every week I come on here and I keep telling y'all it's the shaman. But nobody wants to believe me that it's the damn shaman. And I keep telling y'all, is it the shaman? I feel like it's the shaman. So Hive offices got raided again for the second time because South Korea is doing some. They have instituted, the new president has instituted some sort of tax reform law, and so 27 companies. Hive, I'm not the only one. 27 companies have been flagged by the South Korean government in their version of the IRS. I forgot what it's called, but South Korea has their own version of the IRS, and so they flagged 27 different companies to go through some sort of tax audit. So they went to Hive's offices again and got a bunch of information. Like I said, they gather up files and folders and downloaded stuff from drives because Hive is one of 27 companies being investigated for not tax evasion, but they're just going through the records to make sure that they have filed their taxes correctly and that they've actually filed everything and counted everything. Now, this is nothing new because I learned from watching HYBE, which if you don't watch HYBE, you're missing out because he breaks down all these things with the Hive IPO and all this. But I did a video talking about their IPO woes, and this is going to be an ongoing situation for at least until October. I think there's a court case. But anyway, so they're investigating. So it was before they were investigating about their IPO. We're still investigating that because Hive went public and they said that Bong PD, who is the chairman of founder of Big Hit and Hive, he's the granddaddy of the granddaddy. He's BTS granddaddy, BTS daddy, that he sold a bunch of shares and got money, and then the company went IPO and an investor saying that they didn't know the company was going to go public. So there you go. So now it's taxes. So now South Korea has instituted tax reforms. And so 27 companies have been caught up in this tax reform thing. So they went to Hive and they got a bunch of stuff and they're going to investigate to see if they've paid enough taxes, basically in other words, that they've paid enough taxes. I don't know what I don't know what to think about this. I really don't. I don't know what to feel or what to think about all of this. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. It's just weird. Like I think that the Hive situation is now turning into a witch hunt. I didn't feel like it before, but now I'm kind of like, yeah, it does seem personal. Who child, grandchild did Marsha said, who child or grandchild did Hive reject? Or piss off? Who did I'm telling you, the shaman. I keep going on about the shaman. Y'all don't believe me. I don't know. Maybe the shaman did sprinkle a little magic on there. I don't know what's going on. Again, I don't know if they're going to find anything, but there's 27 companies that the South Korean tax department are looking into. SM has been in problems with taxes, so is YG, and they had to pay the government millions of dollars won back years and years ago. So this isn't the first time the South Korean government has investigated companies. This is not the first time or the last. The reason why in the reasoning why they're doing this to Hive, what they said was because Hive's growing expansion, and also because Hive's foreign investments. So this is the excuse. I'm not saying the excuse, but this is the reasoning that they're using. That Hive has foreign investors, and I understand it. Like I don't I agree with it. Like the government gonna do what they gotta do. Even the United States, the tax man, the IRS will come down and swoop you up real quick. So I understand that. I just seem like the timing is suspicious to me. The timing is a little like, okay, y'all wait till do this now. Y'all can. The timing is suspicious. So I'm not one to fall into conspiracy like I say every week. But the timing is suspicious. Um, but I do feel that Hive has a target on their back because of them expanding. So part of that also is that the South Korean government has also instituted new rules. Like I've learned that the South Korean government, they've instituted new rules regarding investors. So now if you live in South Korea and you're investing a certain amount, the government can come back and tax you and penalize you. I think it's over $750,000. They consider you a major shareholder, or major owner, even if you don't. Even if that's not a significant, but I think it's $750,000 in our money is the threshold that if you invest $750,000 or more in a particular company, that they consider you like partial owner, and then they will start taxing you on that. But they don't do it for foreign investors, which I find very curious. I find that South Korea, the things that are going on with the government right now is very interesting. With the way that they're doing their investments and their taxes, I find it very fascinating. I don't know if South Korea is trying to bring in more foreign investors. That's what it seems like to me, that they're trying to, and then I just, when you start bringing a lot of foreign investors into your economy and into your stock options, it's good for the companies a lot because they get money for investments, but then it's bad for, depending on what company it is and what product that they're selling, it can be bad for that or what business that they're in. I know in our country, in America, it's horrible that there is so much foreign investment, like in our real estate. Like the reason why rents are so high and mortgages are so high, one of the reasons of many, is because foreign investors. The foreign investors have been allowed to come in our country and buy up a bunch of real estate, buy up a bunch of apartment complexes, and then on top of that, in order for them to turn a profit, they have raised the rents and raised the mortgages so high, and then people don't really have a choice. Like where I live, I know in particular, half of the homes in my little city are owned by real estate companies, and a lot of these real estate companies are foreign investments from China, Saudi Arabia, even Russia. And so to try to find a home that's like a private owner is like rare. Most of these homes are owned by some investment company, a real estate company, a conglomerate, something. And so yeah, like the home that I live in now was actually owned by a person. It wasn't owned by a company, which has allowed me to have a better deal. But I know people that bought their homes from these real estate companies, and like I said, they build these homes and then they buy up a whole bunch of homes. Like they'll buy up like half of the subdivision where I live, because they have the money, they have the capital to buy up millions upon millions of dollars worth of homes, and then they rent them out, they lease them out, and then they raise the rents, and then that's how they make their money. And a lot of these investors and foreign investors, and it's been unchecked for years for now. And I used to work I used to work for a bank, and I used to work in the mortgage end of a bank, a major bank in the United States. And I just see it. Like I just see all the costs and the fees and everything. And I see the behind the scenes of foreign investment in real estate. And it's completely horrible. It's a horrible thing. So the idea that South Korea is letting more investors in from different countries is kind of odd to me. And I think that HYBE, I don't I think HYBE has a target on their back. To some like I said, I don't want to descend into conspiracy. Marsha said they waited until BTS get out of the army. Right. Maybe the South Korea government is going broke. Could be. I think they're courting more foreign investors because they want them to invest more into the South Korean stock market. And again, that's good for the companies, but I don't know if that's not good for the average South Korean person. Because when South Korea, a lot of people, they were saying that a lot of their retirements are tied up in the stock market, just like us. But South Korea doesn't have a 401k. I found that out recently. I didn't know that South Korea did not have companies with 401ks. So a lot of people do put their retirement money and savings into the Korean stock market. And then when the stock goes up or down, people will lose money or gain money, just like anything else. But I hear that the Korean stock market is not as volatile as the American one. So people really use the stock market as a way to save up and grow their companies because their companies don't have 401ks. Their companies do have pensions, you know. In America, we pretty much done away with pensions. But a lot of Korean companies do have pensions still, but 401ks don't exist. But a lot of people, a lot of older people invest into the stock market as a way to make sure that they have some sort of nest egg whenever they get older. And now with them trying to penalize and tax this money, it's crazy, y'all, in South Korea. So this all ties into HYBE and their business dealings to the point where, in my opinion, I don't know if it's advantageous. I've said it last week for HYBE to stay in South Korea. It's coming to the point where they're penalizing and taxing these companies so heavily that I don't know if HYBE should consider, you know, moving operations to America and getting out of South Korea. I don't know how that would work. I don't know how that would be possible. I don't even know if that's possible. But it's coming to the point where everything that they do is being so scrutinized. All their financial deals, all their foreign investments, their taxes, all these things are being scrutinized. And let me tell you, and then the thing that blows my mind with the controversy of them going public, what blows my mind is that in order to go public, this is not like you wake up one day and like, oh, we're going public, everybody, we're going public. Hell, hot damn. Like it takes years for a company to go public. And usually going public is the last resort. HYBE tried to court foreign investors, from what I know. HYBE tried to raise the capital to because they were expanding, they wanted to expand the operations to America, but they didn't have enough revenue, they didn't have enough capital, they were trying to get in foreign investors at first, and that deal fell through. Then if you borrow money from a bank, you're going to be out of a lot of money, and they did not have the revenue to do that as well. So the last resort is for them to go public, because when you go public, you get traded on the stock exchange, it brings in a flush of cash. You have more investors, you have lay people, you have a lot of BTS Army invested in HYBE once they went public, and it's a flush way of you getting cash real quick. So they were able to expand and get Scooter Braun's company and buy it and expand to HYBE America. So that's the story behind them going public. This is a last resort. And so whenever they wanted to go public, they exhausted all their other options to raise capital, okay? So, so when they went public, going any company going public, it's a process. They have to have auditors, they have to have lawyers, they have to have people looking over the books. They have independent auditors, independent audit firms that come in there. They have to submit the paperwork to the South Korean, financial sector. It's a bunch of things that they have to go through. All their T's have to be T'd and their I's got to be dotted. All of that. All of that happens with them going public. So it's not like it's a mystery. It's not like they don't have lawyers and they have internal auditors and outside auditors. I used to work as an auditor for companies that were going public. Your books are going through with a fine-tooth comb. Your revenue, how much money you owe, your debts, your revenues, your assets, your stock options, your investors, all of that is going through for a fine-tooth comb. So when they got in trouble with this IPO thing, it literally hit me for a loop, because I'm like, I understand how it works in America. So I went to digging to try to figure out how does this work in Korea going public. I thought, well, maybe it's a lesser arduous process. Maybe it's simpler. No, it's just as complicated in South Korea as it is here to go public. It's not something that you just do in 6 months. It takes years. Things have to. There's a set checklist of things in an order of things before you can go public. And so I was shocked that the Korean financial, like the Koreans version of the SEC, is like on their asses for this, because I'm like, well, didn't y'all realize this before? Because I'm like, surely when they filed the paperwork, they ask about the investors. That's one of the things that they ask. Well, what about the investors? Have the investors been notified that you guys are going public or not? Like that's one of the. So I'm like, so how did South Korea not know that he informed the investor? Like, I mean, like he just sneakily became public before they even decided to go public. This was on the table, y'all. This wasn't something that blindsided the investors. They knew the company was talking about going public 2 years before they actually went public. So I want to know who brought this case forward, because I'm like, surely it wasn't the investor. I don't know, but that's a question we don't have an answer to. Like, who alerted, who complained, who snitched, who complained and saying we didn't know they were going public. But there's no evidence that they didn't know. There's plenty of evidence from what I've read, emails and exchanges, a company going through an audit. When they go through an audit, they go back and ask the investors before they. I was like, how does an investor not know that they were going public? How were the investors like, we didn't know, we thought it fell through? I don't know. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? The first entity you inform is the investors. Okay, this company's thinking about going public. Like, when they're thinking about going public, you have to govern yourself accordingly. You have to be like, okay, this company I invested millions of dollars in, or hundreds of thousands of dollars in, they're thinking about going public. Okay, I need to sell my shares real quick, or I can't sell my shares, or whatever deals or whatever options that they had. They give the investors options to do whatever they will before they go public. So I find this whole thing just very curious. Like, I'm like, well, maybe South Korea do things, get down a little different than America. But again, as somebody who I'm an accountant, I work in the accounting field. I've been an auditor. So I'm just like, but y'all got auditors. Like, what? So I was confused. So again, I'm still trying to research how Korea does things, but it's very similar to how America does things. So I'm like, how did the FSC not know that? I don't know. Like, something is weird. Marshall says, so from what you are saying, it's not like the financial sector and investors didn't know. Someone is sulking out. Yeah, there's no way that they couldn't have known, because it's a 2-year process. I'm like, as an investor, when the auditors contact you, again, from what I know, as an auditor, we contact investors, but the investors supposedly, allegedly, are claiming that they thought the company was going to go public and they thought the deal fell through. And I'm like, what? So apparently they're saying that Bang PD told them they were thinking about going public, that they didn't know that this was really going to happen, which sounds nonsensical to me. This is not like a rumor. This is not like internet rumors of who's dating who. Like, this is heavy financial things. If you've invested hundreds of thousands or millions of your dollars into a company, it obviously, most time as an investor, they've invested also money in other companies as well. So as an investor, especially if you're working for an investment firm, or you're working for a hedge fund, or you're a professional investor, you invested in many different companies. So you get a report on your company every month. You can go in and see what the revenue is and everything like that. And every quarter you have an investors meeting. So I'm like, okay, every quarter, ideally, again, I don't know how Hive and Korea do it. I was like, investors didn't have no investor meetings? Nobody stepped in hand, like, excuse me, Bang PDCC. So are we going public? Nobody asked it. Nobody sat in a Zoom call, was like, so I heard we're going public. Are we going public? I need to know these things. Like, these are the things that are gonna come out in the investigation as we see going forward. But I'm like, nobody sat on a Zoom call. Nobody contacted their accountant and being like, is this company gonna go public or not? Nobody. Everybody was just like, oh, they went public. Oh my God. Like, I was watching my K-drama, and the next thing you know, I saw Bang PD up there banging the gavel and ringing the bell. Like, oh my God, shit. What? Somebody call my accountant. I mean, when did they realize they went public when they saw Bang PD on the interview? They was like, he's standing up there, girl. Ding, 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 ding. They like, they gagging. It was gagging. No, I mean, I was like, nobody discussed this. Okay. Marsha said if it's like someone sues you for something that happened 5 years ago instead of when it happened, right? And then years later, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, we didn't know. I'm like, this happened in 2020. What? 2020, this process, I think they went public. I think they were saying 2021 or 2022. So this happened years ago. And I'm like, okay, so y'all should have, that's another question. Thank you, Marshall. Why didn't they sue back then? Why are y'all suing now? I don't get it. Those are my questions. So now they're getting, the Hive's getting investigated for taxes. And again, it just seems like a routine thing, but I don't know. But then again, I'm gonna say it last week and I'm gonna say it again to all the dear BTS haters gather around. Dear BTS haters or detractors, dear Hive haters or detractors. Bang PD is really like the figurehead of the company. He is not what makes or breaks Hive. Hive is a publicly traded company. They're not a privately owned company anymore. Regardless of what happens, even if they lock Bang PD up, if they shove his ass in a police car and take his ass to federal jail in South Korea, and they're like, you, sir, you, Bang PD, have defrauded investors, and they want their money back. Then Bang PD got to pay the money back. Somehow he had to come up with the cash. I don't know. We got the Cash App. He gonna come out. Hey, it's me, Hitman Bang, Cash App. So he's gonna come up there, and he's gonna do a Cash App, and y'all get all the army can Cash App Bang PD, but like free Bang PD, free Bang PD. Even if he take his ass to jail, Hive is still gonna be there. They are a publicly traded company. If he gets caught up in something, then Bang PD will suffer the consequences because of it. Bang PD would have to pay money out of his own assets and out of his own pocket, and y'all would have to Cash App him if y'all trying to get him out of jail. Y'all would have to pay your free Bang PD T-shirt. I'm ready, because if he goes to jail, which I don't think he's gonna go to jail. He's never gotten any trouble before. I think he might have to pay some money back. I don't think he's going to go to jail. He might get in trouble. He could get a suspended, deferred sentence or whatever, just like YG guy did. And then that's it. And literally, y'all, that's it. It's not going to affect Hive or BTS in that kind of way. It's not like he's going to take money out of Hive and be like, well, let me go down to Hive and be like, we got to sell these chairs and these desks. And damn it, BTS, I need you to go out there and you better sing for your life, girls. Like, girl, he's not going to tell the Seraphim, look, y'all need to go on tour or something. We need to make some money. Daddy need to make some money, honey. Daddy needs money. Like, no, he's not going to, he may have to sell some stocks and some shares in order to get some money. He'll do it. He may step down as chairman. He will do it. Bang PD will do anything to save his company. It is his legacy. And he understood that when he went public and he started to step down from certain responsibilities, that he's not going to live forever. Bang PD is going to pass away off of this earth. And he is doing things or has done things to where his company will still live on without him. So it's not like he runs Hive. He has control of the day-to-day. The day-to-day operations are already run by people. So I tell haters all the time, Hive is not going anywhere. That Bang PD is pretty much like a figurehead. Like he started it, but he understands he has to pass it off. It's like your baby. You give birth to a baby, you bring them in the world, and you love them and you care and you raise them up. And then once they get old enough, you have to send them off into the world because you understand that like they need to spread their wings. And he understands that Hive is going to become a global company. Yes, a global company. And he understands that like this is the situation with Hive and being a global company. And so it's not like Hive is going to go away. It's not like people are going to be upset. The whole Hive's going to go away. Oh, am I getting it's a little dark in here? I'm going to have to turn my light on. But it's not like, Hive is going to fold and disappear into the ether and just be like, oh, there's no more Hive. Bye, Hive. See you later. I mean, it's just, It's just not, it's not gonna happen. So don't, y'all don't hold your breath. Don't, please don't. Don't think that like, oh, that's it. Hive is gone. Yeah. It's not going to happen. It just, Bang PD will be on the hook for this money and he will get in trouble. If it turns out a tax situation, then Hive as a company, yes, would have to pay them taxes. Just like SM, just like YG. SM has been in trouble twice, by the way, y'all. Twice. SM been in trouble twice for tax evasion. But they paid the money back. They paid their fines, they paid their monthe back. And that's just wild, and life goes on. All of this intrigue and all of this stuff, the narrative, and then then I can talk about the other thing. The way the Korean media has put this out there is so scandalous. It's like, oh my God, Hybe's in trouble again. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. The way Korean media has to make it so sensationalized, so awful. It's just the way that they narrate things. And I'm reading the Korean media, and once again, I do this. Korean media make my head hurt. It make my head hurt. It make my teeth, my braces start itching. My braces itching. I like, oh my God. Because the way they narrate things and where they talk about Hive is so implied fraud and corruption. They use these terms. They use these real emotional terms. When they report on anything else, they just be like, "Oh, this company got in trouble and this happened." But when they talk about Hive, it's like Bang PD is angry, and then they started bringing. And then I'm thinking, okay, then they started bringing up. Bang PD did a commencement speech in 2019 to the college he went to. He did a commencement speech. So the students were graduated. And he did, and I read the whole speech. They took a snippet from his commencement speech about him talking about the industry and him being angry because the industry, it is what it is, and it has a lot of problems that he has had to navigate around. And then it's like Fox News over here, right? Bang PD is angry. He said it in 2019 that he's angry. I'm like, if you go back and you look it up online, the Bang PD commencement speech, it's a very commendable speech. And he was saying he was angry about certain things of the industry that he didn't have any control over and that he has tried to change. As to how a line of what he said in a 30-minute commencement speech, how that became the pouncing point for the Korean media this week. I'm just like, how do you link these two? I'm just sitting there reading the articles going, okay, let me see how they're going to link these two together. Well, you can see Bang PD said in 2019 that he was angry. And I'm like, what does that have to do with? I'm sitting there thinking, okay, every time I read Korean media, I make sure it's translated well. And then I'll be sitting here like this and I get it translated and I'm like, I'm still confused. So a lot of times I need cultural context, and I go watch HYBE Boy and I ask other people in Korea, please, could you please give me some cultural context? Why is Bang PD's commencement speech about him being angry? Why is that even a thing? Shouldn't have been a damn thing. Shouldn't be a thing, y'all. That shouldn't be a thing. His commencement speech was good. It had nothing to do with anything. They emotionalized everything with Hive like it's some big, huge effing scandal. And like Bang PD, they make him out to be the freaking devil incarnate. Like, I'm like, why do y'all hate this man like this? I just, and again, I'm gonna come on here and do a whole video about Bang PD and how much. And again, it's not like he's hated in Korean society. This is a media thing. And again, I can't help to think that some people in the media have been paid off. Some people in the media feel slanted. There's things that people written about Bang PD this week that you find out these are the same people that sided with Min Hee Jin. And I understand that y'all think Min Hee Jin is like the boogeyman, just boo, Min Hee Jin, she everywhere. I don't feel that way, but I do think some of this is from people that Min Hee Jin is cool with. I don't know what hold Min Hee Jin has over these reporters or what money she's paid them. I can only speculate, but I don't know why they have taken this person's her side in certain things. And I need to do more research because I'm just trying to wrap my mind around why people have taken her side still in all of this when it's easily you can see Min Hee Jin for what she really is. And she's somebody who wants money, who wants power. She's not trying to upset the system. She's not trying to change the system. She is not trying to make the system better for artists. She wants to be a part of the system. So I tell people all along, that people were championing Minhee Jin like she's like, yeah, she's this woman and girl power and she's going to change the system. Minhee Jin never said she was trying to change the system. She never once said she was trying to change anything. She wanted to be a part of the system. It's a difference when somebody's trying to break the system and do good. But there's a difference between somebody who's not trying to break the system, they just trying to be the head honcho on top of it. So that's a whole different argument, a different situation. But no, Minnie Jin's not trying to change anything. She's trying to be a part of a system that she wants to be a part of. And I tell people all along, the point I have to leave with you guys about the Minhee Jin thing and New Jeans, I'm like, if Minhee Jin wanted to change the system, she could. So you mean to tell me that Minhee Jin has been in the business for like 15 years and she don't know where the bodies are buried? She didn't work for SM, HYBE, and everybody else. And you mean to tell me through all of this, she ain't dropped no tea? Minnie Jen ain't dropped no tea. Not once. Only thing she talked about, Illit copied us and LeSeraphim got preferential treatment. That's all Minnie Jen has said. Minnie Jen ain't dropped no dimes. She ain't told it nobody. And I promise you that Minnie Jen could drop dimes on a lot of people in a lot of companies. Minnie Jen's been in this industry for 15 years almost. And you mean to tell me Minnie Jen don't know things? So if she was trying to change the industry or be a champion for artists, why ain't she told nothing on nobody? She could easily, Minnie Jen is the type of insider that she could easily upset and dismantle this whole damn thing and blow this K-pop thing wide open. But she has not done that because Minhee Jin has no interest. It doesn't serve her any purpose to ruin the industry. She doesn't want to ruin the industry. She wants to rule the industry. She doesn't want to change the industry. She wants to sit on top of it. She wants to be a part of it as a big mover and shaker. So there's nothing noble about what she's doing. It's just greed and control. That's all it is. There's nothing that she's trying to change anything for the artist. She's not trying to help New Jeans. She's trying to be their boss. Like she ain't trying to help New Jeans, y'all. She's not trying to help New Jeans. She want to be their boss. You think if New Jeans if she, let's just say she did get a hold of a door and she ran a door, do you think New Jeans would get out their contract? Hell no. She would transfer that contract over to. She would be like, okay. You think she would change anything in New Jeans' contract? I don't think so. For what? Minnie Jen to me seems like, in my opinion, she doesn't have any problem with the industry. She just has a problem with her not being on top of it. So that's why I can't champion New Jeans or Minnie Jen and girl power because she not about that. Minnie Jen don't even like women. Minnie Jen don't even like New Jeans. According to her cacao messages, she called them all bitches. So she don't even like them. She not champion for women. She had a woman that was being harassed by an executive. She didn't care about that woman. She just like, I need you to go away and go sit down and go sit down, shut up and do something. She was telling the executive how to get out of it. This is not a person about girl power or sisterhood or being a woman in business like, girl, yeah, I know how it is, these men. No, Minnie Jen, she the same one. She the same person on that dispatch says she talking about she should be sleeping with people and shit. It's not Minnie Jen's first rodeo. By the way, I don't think she just pulled that out of anywhere. I think Minhee Jen knows exactly what she's doing, and she's been in this industry long enough that Minhee Jen could blow the whole thing wide open. But I find it very interesting. I thought about that the other day. I was like, she ain't blown nothing open. Interesting. That's just a little food for thought for y'all. So when anybody tries to be online and tell y'all about Minhee Jen and New Jeans are champions for the artists and everything, hello, Yaretsi Ramirez. And she's a champion for y'all. Y'all come back and ask, okay, so why hasn't she blown the industry open? Why hasn't she dropped dimes on everybody? She could. Why hasn't she tried to change the industry? Why hasn't she leaked any kind of freaky deaky weird secrets? And there are lots of those. There are lots of things that go on in the industry that is very messed up. So why hasn't Minhee Jen said anything about that? Because again, she's not trying to change the industry. She's not trying to run the industry. She's trying to rule it. So she's not a champion. She's a conqueror, period. And so nobody should be like, ooh, yeah, girl pop. She's not that. She's never said that she was. But she has a PR campaign and them stupid bunnies online trying to pretend like she is. I read all those cacao messages. Never once did she be like, you know what, these slave contracts are wrong. We really shouldn't be. Minnie Jim is like, bitch, you better get out there and work. She was talking about these bitches up here complaining. These little girls, these bitches up here complaining. And I'm tired of them complaining. And I ain't. Minnie Jim wasn't trying to stop them from rehearsing for 12 hours a damn day. Minnie Jim was over there cracking the whip. Like, y'all need to get out there and stop complaining. And by the way, your ass, you are fat. Your fat ass. Get out your fat ass out there. That's Minnie Jim. She wasn't trying to stop nothing. She just wanted to be on top. So, I don't see. So we'll see what's going to happen with HYBE. And I'll keep bringing y'all updates of what's going on. It's just a situation that I'm just waiting. I don't know about y'all. I'm tired of this situation. This has been going on a year and a half, y'all, and I'm tired. I'm tired. And again, I tell people again, I say over and over again, this does affect BTS because I do feel like BTS is probably one of many investors in HYBE and Big Hit. It would be silly to think that they're not. They are. I mean, I can't prove it. I don't have any proof, but I just feel like they are investors in this company. I'm sure they have their money wrapped up in this company. A lot is the company that they built, and they don't want to see nobody bring down the company that they helped build, the legacy that they're going to have, the legacy that they may leave to their children if they choose to have children, and the legacy that they're going to live long after their careers are gone and they're older, and they don't want to be out here working forever. There are other things that I feel like BTS members have passion for, that they're going to grow as people, and like adults do. And they don't want to be up here singing and dancing, I believe, forever. They'll come together and they'll do it like Super Junior, like I said before. But I don't think BTS wants to be up here touring and living this life forever. Even HYBE has remarked saying that as he's getting older, that like he's tired, more tired, your energy level goes down. And then once you hit like your 40s, then it's really just, you like, I need more sleep, I need more rest. I need, you kind of want to be, after ripping and running since they were teenagers, late teens, early 20s. By the time they hit 40, they're going to be like, look, we've been in this business 20 years. We're tired. We're tired. Army, we're tired. Like, they want to go off and live their lives. And in order for them to live in life and have the freedom to do whatever they want to do, they need the money and the capital to do it. Again, nobody wants to be out here. I mean, maybe Jungkook will. Like I said, Jungkook, I see him touring and singing probably in his 60s and 70s. Because some people really do like to be sing and perform, and that's their whole lives, regardless of the money. So I do see several of them are probably going to be in the industry in some way. But I just see some of them, R.E.M. and Sugar in particular, that where they are going to want to live a more normal, quiet life, where they have a family and they can enjoy their family, and they can hang out and be good uncles and live that life of just out. But in order to do that, you have to have money saved up to live that life, because again, nobody wants to be out here performing at 50, 60 years old because you're broke. It's good. This is a good time now for them to invest their money, to save their money, and put their money into other things, because the entertainment industry is not promised to nobody, not even BTS. And now, like I said, there's going to come a time where their popularity is going to wane, and they're just going to be a little bit quieter. And I'm for that. That's just a part of being older and be growing into your maturity. And so them losing money with HYBE, first of all, PR wise, it's not a good look. And then second of all, it just causes a lot of stress and problems in their financial lives and in their real lives. And then the last thing I had to say, I hope that BTS and all these artists, not just BTS, and HYBE, LE SSERAFIM, Elliot, KATSEYE, I hope all these artists have their own lawyers and financial people to handle their money other than just the company. But then y'all, let me tell you, let me leave y'all with this. This is real crazy. Somebody in the industry told me, because I was talking to somebody in the industry, and I'm like, you know what? they should have their own lawyers and their own financial people to do their books and run their money. And then somebody told me, someone's like, well, some of these people have it in their contract where they can't. I said, bitch, what? A friend of mine told me last week that some artists have it in their contract where they can't have independent accountants and independent lawyers, or either or, that they have to use the company, they have to use the company's accountants and agents to run their money, and they have to use the company lawyers. That some people have it in their contract. Now, I don't think BTS. I think BTS has gotten to the point in their lives where they have their own team and their own team of people around them. I hope they do. God knows, but I'm just saying. I hope they do. But I just leave that. But I was shocked. I was shocked. I was shook. People are like, you do know in contracts when they start out that they can't have their own independent accountants. I was like, why? They're like, they have it in their contract. Wait, bitch, what? I've never heard that. Not in America. I've never heard that. You have your own lawyers, your own entertainment lawyers, and your own people. I've never heard that, but I was told by a very good source that when these groups first start out, that they have it. They just some of them have clauses to where they can't have their own lawyers and they can't have their own accountants or accounting firms. I said, why? And I understand why they would do that. I understand. I understand why, but it doesn't mean I agree with it. Again, I understand why, doesn't mean I agree with it. And I don't agree with that. But it never dawned on me that like you can't, because when you have your own accountant, your accountant can approach the agency and being like, I need to look at the financials for this person. I need to look at the revenue and the things for this particular artist. I'm representing this artist. I'm their accounting and I'm doing my own personal audit for this artist and I represent the artist. And then when you do that, the agency has to release the books and show them the amount that they've earned and the revenue and stuff like that. So, I mean, anybody in their right mind who are making a significant amount of money, they would have their own independent. But again, the idea that you have it in your contract, a clause saying that you can't have somebody come and look at your books, that's just so shady to me. I was like, K-pop, K-pop, y'all are some shady bastards. Like, I said, that is shady. That is shady. Marshall said, I can't. You playing with my money. You playing with my emotions, Smokey, right? You playing with money, you ain't playing with my emotions. I was just like, I couldn't work for a company where they have it in their clauses saying that I can't go look at their books. Or I can't have my own entertainment lawyer looking at my contracts that I have to use their lawyers. I want to look over my own contract and my own brand deals. Yeah, I understand that you got your people, your PR people, and your lawyers, but I need my own. Like that. That is crazy. It never once dawned on me that this was the thing. But somebody had to get me. They had to snatch me up and was like, "Look, you think you know this shit? This is not a game." Somebody had to get me to snatch me up and get me together, honey, because I did not know that. It didn't even dawn on me. It's unheard of in America when you get to be famous and making money, even as a small independent artist, that you want to have, if you can afford it, that you would have your own lawyers and your, if you can afford it. A lot of the time they can't afford it, but if you've been in a group for a while and you're making good money, I would want somebody looking at my books. This is how artists got screwed over, like in the history of American music. There are so many artists that got screwed over by agencies and even accountants that work with these major labels have screwed artists over. They've rigged the contracts. They've stolen money from them. This happens in the entertainment industry, even down to this day in America. You have artists that promoters rip them off, accountants rip them off, that they just get ripped off all the time. And this happens in the Korean industry as well. But a lot of times the agency has such a control over their money that they're not left out there to the wolves to promotion, because everything has to go through the agency. But then again, as an artist, would I trust the agency? No, I wouldn't trust the agency. And then the agency put in your contract that you have to trust them. So you're kind of like in a catch 22, like, well, I don't really trust you, but I can't bring. And then they were saying that some artists on the cool give accountants as much as they can, but they really not seeing all of the books. If they don't have access to the agency's books, if they don't have access to what the agency's accounting departments, if they don't have access to that, then they're at a disadvantage. But like I said, in America, you can subpoena. I have an accountant and a lawyer, and I want to look at everything. If I work for Sony or Warner Brothers, whoever I'm signed as an artist, I can subpoena through American court and get them to open up the books and demand that they, if they don't want to. But no company in America would do that. They wouldn't want to go through the legal headache. They just open up the books to your accountants if you want to do an audit and see your revenue, how much you earn, the loss, and where the money really is going. That's something that happens normally in the entertainment industry in America all the time. If the artist has the means to do it, and if the artist is smart, this is what they do. And it happens all the time, and the agency doesn't get, but I heard that in Korea, if you try to pull that bullshit, you're gonna get pushed back. That's wild to me. That is wild, wild. That blew my mind. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, they won't give you, they don't have the process to subpoena and get them to open their books because you signed a contract saying that you can't. Well, I'm like, wow, that is crazy. That is effing crazy. I was like, that blew my mind that this is what goes on in the Korea. So that's just a FYI for y'all wondering, like, well, why don't they do this and why don't they do that? I'm like, no, they can't. That's why these contracts, that's why K-pop contracts are known as slave contracts. They're why they're some of the most stringent, overbearing contract in the world. Like when we were looking at KG, from Vicha, and she was talking about things in her contract. It is things that I was in shock. I had to read that affidavit over and over again because there's things in the contract that I just didn't know existed. Like what she does on her off day, how much food they eat, how many hours they can sleep, like things that would be unheard of in America in a contract. What you doing on your off day? Huh? That's why the people talk about they have clauses in the contract saying that the artist can't date. They used to have those. They have, there's less of that now. But there used to be clauses in contracts saying that the artist could not date, that they could not date. Or if they did date, they had to inform the company ahead of time, like who they were dating and why, and all, like stuff that we would be like, okay, that's infringing on your rights, your personal rights as a person. That doesn't exist in South Korea. Like, it's wild. It's wild. Like I said, I that's another video I'm gonna write down where we talk about them contracts, because I done heard some things that I'm just like, but what? Like, you what? Like things involving your family members and your friends, they have to sign NDAs. Yes, child. Woo, I'm gonna do that video where they talk about the family members and friends got to sign NDAs. I'm like, what? Yes. And yes, South Korea, your family members and friends have to sign NDAs. Not an NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. They have to sign. They even have clauses for the families in some of these agencies. Not all these agencies, but again, these are things that I've heard that they used to go on. There's not that much now, but yes, they used to have clauses for family members. For your parents had to sign some type of clause in their. I mean, craziness, craziness, and that's how. And it's like I said, especially 10 years ago. These contracts was whoosh. Some family and friends in America need to sign an NDA. Yeah, they do, because they be out here wilding out. But Korea don't want to go through that. They don't want to have your family friends on the social media. Like they have really strict rules about like what you can write and say on social media. That's in the contracts a lot. A lot of the things that are in contract these days are about social media and about public relations and your public persona. So a lot of these things are in contract to these days. But also, y'all do know that these artists don't run their social media. Most of the artists do not run their social media. They don't check their messages. They have assistants that do all that. They have people that post things on the internet. So that's that. And then the artists, they do have their own private social media accounts where they talk to their family and friends and girlfriends and boyfriends. So they do. So every artist that I've ever heard of have their own private social media accounts with different usernames and stuff like that. And then they have their public one, which is run by the agency. So I tell people that when artists post things, this is a very controlled thing, especially the big agencies. They post things, they have to get it cleared first. And it also depends on what kind of group you are. Now, BTS, they know better. They've been around a long time. they have more autonomy to do. BTS is the exception to the rule because they pretty much kind of do whatever they want to do, and they know better. They know what to put and what not to put most of the time. But for other groups, especially in smaller agencies, other groups starting out, depending on the agency, they have a grip on what they post on social media and what they don't post on social media. And even if their family and friends are public, then they tell their family and friends like there's certain things you get. So people freaking out about what somebody posts and something like that. If they're a family or a friend of the artist, 9 times out of 10, that is approved. They go through, they have a whole department they have a whole department for social media. So if like I said, if I invite BTS to my wedding, if it said I got married, the wedding that the BTS members went to, before the wedding even happened, again, this is just my opinion. Before that wedding even happened, my wedding is on this day, these BTS members are going to be there. The agency would have to be notified. Look, RM, Suga, and J-Hope is going to be at my wedding on this date. The agency has to be notified. The agency's like, okay, this is the video we're going to take. They're going to be in pictures and photos. The agency is like, okay. The agency is notified. Okay, I took this video. I'm about to post it. Before they post that video, 9 times out of 10, the agency knows they're going to post that video. So y'all don't think that people just, when Jungkook is up there working out and, and he has a little friend with him and they up there, with a little thirst trapping and they're at the gym. 9 times out of 10, those pictures are cleared by the artist and the agency for them to release it, whether it's their social media or the friend's social media. So people flipping out over pictures that they do together with friends and everything, I'm like, all of that is approved. BTS is never going to, people hardly ever going to release any picture that they take with BTS without getting their permission. Hey, is this okay? I put this on my social media? Yes or no? There are plenty of pictures where BTS have been in pictures with friends and family and all kinds of things that have never seen the light of day on social media or may accidentally been leaked. But for the most part, these pictures don't see the light of day. These pictures are not posted on social media, whatever reason it is, due to privacy or whatever. So y'all don't think that BTS is just willy-nilly posting anything. Then y'all don't understand the business. They would never release something that the BTS members or the person releasing the picture didn't approve of or have any control over, because they do, they do. They have control over all of these things. So that's kind of how the industry works, and pretty much in a nutshell when it comes to PR and media play and stuff like that. So don't y'all ever think that like, oh, I can't repost this picture. I was like, that's the silliest shit I didn't ever heard somebody say. Well, don't repost this picture. Why? It's publicly on a social media. If they didn't want people to repost it, they would go to their private social media and post it. Or if they didn't want people to repost, or their friend to post the pictures or video of weddings or working out or them hanging out in a restaurant. Honey, all of these things are orchestrated pictures. When V go out with his friends and he's drinking and he's laughing and there's a cake, honey, that's all PR. That's all a setup. Okay, we're going to go out. Okay, get the camera out. I'm going to take a picture in front of this cake. I'm going to take a picture holding up this cup. I'm going to look really smoldering. I'm V. Look at me. I'm going to be like, honey, this all of that is PR. You tell your friend, take a picture. Okay, I need you to post it on your social media and I'll post this one on mine. You post that one on yours. We'll take a pic. All of these things are orchestrated. Then once they do their little photos or whatever, then they can sit back and have a really good time, get drunk, and have some bitches sit on their lap. Whatever. Y'all didn't hear it from me. I'm just saying, but that's how it goes. I mean, y'all think that these pictures just by accident, like they're organic. They are made to seem organic, but they're not really organic. There's rarely anything on social media that's organic. And I try to get K-pop fans to really see this and understand this, because this is how the industry plays the fans. And so y'all get your knickers in a knot over all of these things. And I just be sitting back here kikiing and I'll caw on because I'm like, okay, that's fake. That's fake. That's orchestrated. That's a setup picture. Oh my God, that's not. So a lot of things that y'all think, even outside of K-pop, a lot of things that y'all think are organic, I've said it over and over again, are not. They're not. They're just not. And once you understand that, then you get to see the industry and politics and everything online for what it is. That's set up. I know content creators who have millions of followers. I have a friend I talked about all the time. that has 500,000 followers. And I understand what the game is on social media. I have a friend that has 3 million followers. He's a Japanese content creator. I understand what the game is. Like, I understand why he posts certain things that he posts or why they do certain things. It's a game. It's a way to make money, and it's a game. When you're talking about artists, it's PR. A lot of the things that artists do online is PR, whether Weverse, Instagram, Twitter, or whatever. Some artists don't want to play that game. Some artists are like, I just want to be an artist. I'll post a nature picture here and there. I'll share something intimate. RM, I believe, shares very heartfelt things. I feel like RM shares a lot of things that matter to him. But then some artists, it's just a game. It's just a way for them to get attention. It's a way for them to drive engagement. The more engagement you have on your social media app, that more that they could bring brand deals. Y'all, this is the hustle of the industry. More engagement, more followers, more fans opens up better opportunities. So yes, of course they're going to post that thirst trap picture because that brings more engagement. Hello, Chris. And that's just it is what it is. It's just the nature of the business. So I try to tell people, inform people on my channel because I want y'all to be able to spot these things and then people not to overreact because I'm like, oh, this is PR tricks and flips. Because there's a lot of that in K. There's more of that in K-pop than it is in the American music industry. There's a lot of that. American artists do not engage and do not interact with fans like K-pop artists are told to. I couldn't say like they do because they are told to engage. They are told when to post a Weverse, when to go live. Or if the artist does want to do it, they have to get clearance a lot of times first. They have to notify the company what they want to do. Okay, I'm gonna go live after this concert, after this interview, after this, because it drives engagement. Y'all, engagement is the key. That's one of the metrics that they use whether they get branding deals. If you watch Asian Entertainment, she did one of the best videos I've ever seen. If you watch, please, if you're not subscribed to Asian Entertainment, please subscribe to Faraday. She does some of the best videos I've ever seen about hello from Russia. She does some of the best videos I've ever seen about the K-pop industry. And she did a video recently talking about the industry and the PR and engagement and who gets brand deals. She did a whole video talking about branding deals. And I'll talk about that at another day about because there's something I can add to that conversation about how branding deals are done, and it's really the genius of the PR and the marketing of the agency. They push for artists to get branding deals. It's not like the brand comes to them and like, oh, yeah, that does happen. But for most of these artists, especially when they're just starting out, when they're not very internationally known, the PR teams and these companies are pushing for these brand deals. They do everything. They tell the artist that you need to engage your fans online. The more engagement, the more metrics. There's metrics and things that are used to get branding deals. There's whole reports that they give to the brand and be like, see, this person's popular. This happened and that happened. All the shit that you see at the airports, that is part of getting brand deals. That is branding. That is PR. Them getting mobbed at the airport. Them getting mobbed at a hotel. Brands are looking at this going, oh, well, look how popular they are. PR divisions inside the agency use these type of things as leverage, as a way to get branding deals, as a way to get endorsements and stuff like that. So when you're not on top like BTS is they're pretty out there, relevancy. But other groups that are not as big as them, like you're talking about TXT and HYBE and ILLIT, whole PR teams and Hive are pushing all the time. That's their whole job, is to bring them advertising deals because it's like an automatic check. It's something that the agency really doesn't have to do a lot. They don't have to go on tour. Hello, Marie Miller. They don't have to go on tour. They don't have to do anything. They just go on there and be like, look at all the engagement they've had online. Look at how many followers they have. This is all part of the PR game in getting your artist branding deal. So really, getting a brand deal from Gucci or LV or Celine, it's really not that big of a deal because these brands need famous people. They don't have supermodels like they used to. They need famous people to push their brands. It is free advertising and free marketing for the brand. They give them a bunch of clothes, they wear the clothes, they go to airports, blah, 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 blah. It's free marketing. So that's just a little bit about a business. We're going to business talk. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a new K-pop song came out that I got distracted, girl. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm finna show y'all something. Y'all ready? Wait a minute. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? I'm finna show y'all something. Wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm finna turn the camera. Wait a minute. Okay, y'all. Sorry. Let me see. Let me flip the camera. Let me show y'all what I got distracted. Now wait a minute, y'all. What's going on there? What's going on here? What's going on right here? What's going on there? What's going on there? What song is that? What is that? What? That's why I had to stop, girl. What is this? What song is this? If you know what song that is. What is that? Y'all can see my recommends. These are my recommends. That's how y'all know I watch way too much K-pop. Look at JK. Hey, JK. Hey, Daddy. Hey, Opa. So these are my recommends. But my recommend just popped up. I was like, bitch, what's that? Who that? That's my other channel. Who that? Wait a minute, that's me. No. What was that popping up in my recommends? What was that pop? Who that, Craig? Who was that? Girl, I had to stop, girl. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize, but I apologize, but when that came up my recommends, I was like, who K-pop? Who that? Who that, Craig? Who that, Craig? Who that? Marsha said, I'm with you. I was like, who? So that's Kville. Oh, Marie Miller says she just landed back in Kansas after seeing Jen in Jersey. It was great. I enjoyed my time. My Jen vlog is up, by the way. But y'all, I'm sorry. I got a little distracted, y'all. I apologize. I was just like, who that? I'm looking. I'm like, bitch, what? I'm going to watch that later, and I'll come back and put it in my post what group this is. Because I'm like, groups is why. Groups, before I get the cat's eye, let me tell y'all. Ever since J-Hope came out with Killing It Girl, I have seen more and more videos with dudes with no shirt on or doing some kind of sexy concept. Ever since J-Hope did Killing It Girl. Am I the only one that's noticed that? That I watched some video the other day. It was some solo guy. I don't even know who it was. But he had a jacket on with no shirt on. I'm like, really? This is what we doing now, K-pop? So again, if you go watch the Eye Candy video, there's a song called Eye Candy. You go watch that. And now there's a new song out. And again, I don't know who this group is because I'm gonna watch the video later. But apparently there's some group is out here. Girl, I gotta put it on mute but yeah, so I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I've just noticed that lately there's been a bit more music videos and live performances where dudes is out here showing they chesticles. Like they out here. And I'm just like, so this what we doing now? We out here? Okay, Jay. So I told y'all before. I said once J-Hope come out here and they give the green light that is okay, then you're gonna see other singers who are gonna be like, well, I guess we might as well be out here thirst trapping them too. We finna thirst trap these chicks real quick. Because again, it just seems like lately there's just a lot. I just seen more and more guys, solo artists in particular, who are out here with they chesticles out. I've seen a lot of that. So that's just my observation. But now we're gonna get into KATSEYE. Let's see. I'm just trying to go back. I'm trying to see what group that was. I'll watch it later on and report back to y'all. Tell y'all what group it was. They was up here with towels on, y'all. Like K-pop is wilding out. K-pop is wilding out, y'all. Like, they was up here with towels on, y'all. I was like, K-pop done gone wild, y'all. But anyway, I will watch this whole video and I will tell y'all which. But what I was saying about KATSEYE. So KATSEYE has got into a kerfluffle. They are in trouble because their song Gnarly, which was a big hit, it reached, I think, number 25 on the Billboard. Y'all over here throwing flowers. I appreciate it. Let me be serious. So Cat's Eye, again, right after Hive got tax rated, then the shit, then I watched Hive Boy and I thought I was half asleep and I was like, surely I dreamt this because I was half asleep and then Hive Boy pops up because he does this video early in the morning. I thought I was dreaming, y'all. I was like, surely this is a dream. I'm over here asleep. I got my BTS. I got my BTS. I'm over here. Then I look up and I have my remote and I'm like, Cat's Eye, what? I was like, child, and fell back asleep. I was like, Cat's Eye, I said, child. I said, that's not right. So I went back to sleep and I didn't know it was a real thing. So Hot Boy got a whole video about Cat's Eye. Gnarly, the song Gnarly, is in trouble. Why is the song Gnarly in trouble? Because some Korean media, once again, the Korean media, and Hot Boy reads the article on his channel. And once again, the Korean media, y'all never fail. Chef's kiss Korean media, because y'all never fail for fuckery. This reporter, who is one of Minnie Jin's minions, allegedly, I would say, in my opinion, because they went back and Hot Boy looked at the reporter and they've written a lot of favorable things about New Jeans and Minnie Jin, whatever. Wrote this article about the song Gnarly, saying that in the song, there is a moan in the song, and that the moan came from an adult film. Let me repeat it again. The Hive global group KATSEYE came out with a song called Gnarly a couple of months ago. And the song is what they call classified as noise music. So there's a bunch of stuff going on in the video. There's a bunch of stuff in the background of the song. This Korean reporter wrote a whole article saying that and blamed Bong PD. I don't know how Bong PD got blamed for this, because apparently he's one of the producers, or I don't know. Okay. This song is produced by HYBE America. Somehow Bong PD, I guess, had a hand in KATSEYE's album or in the song, which sounds about right, because Bong PD is more of a music person than an executive. So they're claiming that the song Gnarly, in the background, as to how they found this or knew this or who pointed it out, blows my ever-loving mind. But I was like, first of all, how would anyone know that? But there's a moan. So I slowed down and listened to the clip. In the background, yeah, there's a moan. They're saying that this moan is from an adult film. So, of course, in Korea, in the comment section of this article, there was outrage. Like, oh my God, Bong PD is a pervert. That was, and so this article got copied to all pop and other English language outlets, K-pop news, and online K-pop people ran with this story. I was speechless, because I was like, first of all, I was confused as to why this was news. Second of all, I didn't understand the outrage. Third of all, I didn't understand the outrage. Fourth of all, I was like, how would anyone even know that? And then fifth of all, the biggest reason, they provided no evidence as to whether this came from an adult film or not. So Nicole came on here and she said that Geffen Records, because they're associated with Hive, came back and said they were going to file a defamation suit. I don't know if that's true or not, because I just found this out. But apparently Geffen Records is going to file defamation, because where did they get this from? What? And this also coincides when KATSEYE is going to be doing Lollapalooza. So KATSEYE is supposed to perform for Lollapalooza. I don't know if they did this weekend. I didn't get a chance to see them. But KATSEYE's music is not I do like Gabriella. I do like Game Boy, but their music is skewed a little bit young, for my taste. But I respect KATSEYE because they're a global group. I said, first of all, Korea ain't got nothing to say about nothing, because KATSEYE is a global group. They're not a K-pop group. Number one. Number two, so what? Even if it was true, let's just say even it was true. Number two, I don't, then they were saying one of the members is underage. And I'm like, okay, but how is having a moan in your song has anything to do that a sound effect that I barely heard through Gnarly? Because Gnarly is like beats and beats and noise and beats and beats and noise. This is gnarly. I was like, how would they even know that? And number two, what does it have to do with one of the members is like 17, I guess? I guess she's 17. I didn't verify that either. I don't know how old the members are. But I'm just like, but what does that have to do with the song, with the sound effect? I didn't understand it. So now I've learned that like the record producers push back and saying no, because again, my issue is there's no proof. What adult film is this from? There was no proof. Then they drug Bong PD into this like he made the song. And I'm like, okay, but he didn't make the song. What do you... K-pop, I'm so confused. So there, once again, selective, fake, false, selective outrage in K-pop because that's a thing. So again, I would say KATSEYE has nothing to do with what Korean media do. Like, I don't understand why. So the only reason I could think why K-media would even make up this fucking story, and I would say make up because it's made up, is to once again drag HYBE. Once again, I can say unequivocally that I feel, in my opinion, all the other stuff, I'm like, it's legal, it's financial, the IPO, the tax stuff. Okay, I get that that's legal stuff. That's financial, that's legal stuff. That's stuff that is proven that if you violate, you will get in trouble or fined or put in jail or whatever it is. But this KATSEYE madness, to hell with the Korean media on this one. Straight to fucking hell with you. Straight to hell. Just here, straight to hell. I mean, I ain't got no grace for this. This is a media play, in my opinion, a media play. There is no evidence. There is no proof. None. Nothing. Nada. Bupkis. That this is even a thing. This is literally somebody like, and then in the article, because I read the articles are like, well, we have sources that said, anybody can put that in the article. Sources said this is from an adult film, and sources who? Who? There's no evidence. I'm like, okay, what movie is this from? Let me pull up the adult film and I will report back to you. They didn't, I don't think that was even said what film it was. I'm like, okay, so what film is this from? The other issue that is so egregious to me, I have to use big words because this annoys me. The other issue is that y'all, producers don't make these noises. They buy them. Like, I am not a musical expert by no stretch of the imagination. My interest in the business is not like music and songs. I'm not a songwriter. However, I do know how the sausage is made, so to speak. I know for a fact, and there's YouTube channels, this is not a secret. In the music industry, when it comes to beats and drops, what they call drops, little groans or moans or yelling and stuff like that, I do know that this is not the 80s or the 70s where people would be in the studio and they bring people in and they have certain noises. They'd be like, okay, Fred, come on in, Fred. Okay, record. Like that's not how that's not how this happens. So if I want this sound, unless it's something really weird, but if I want somebody banging on a tin cup or something like that, there are the websites, apps where creatives, songwriters, mixers, composers actually don't make the beats. They buy the tracks. This is how music is really made, especially with the bigger companies. So there are companies out there, a bunch of them, where you can buy individual tracks or packages. So you go to it. So these companies have websites. Okay. And this is also how independent artists make money. So let me just sit back and relax, and while Auntie Keisha will tell you how the music industry kind of works. So let's just say I'm a recording artist, okay? I'm not a big producer. I'm just a person, and I like to make beats because there are people out there that like to make beats and sounds and put sounds and beats behind it. So a way for these people to get money, because you don't need any kind of fancy equipment really. You can have like a mixer board and things. And you at your home, you can buy equipment. You can go to any music shop and make beats. So you can use one of those like machine things and one of those wavers. Like I know a little bit about I know a little bit about a little bit of something. And there are people out there who that's what they do. They make beats. You can make beats, you can make drops. They can be 20 seconds long, 30 seconds long, 40 seconds long. A lot of times they're not very long, maybe a minute, maybe or 2 minutes. You make these beats, you download them, and then you can sell them to companies out there. So you may have, and then you can put your username on there and you can sell them to companies, or you can post it on these particular websites, and then people can listen to the beats, and the beat, you put a description of the beat, who did the beat, your name, your username. Most of the time they have pseudonyms. Like, let's just say my pseudonym is Raver. So I'm Raver, and I make beats, and that's what I do. And then you can go online and sell. Now it's not a lot of money you're selling them for. Every website and company is different. So they may pay you per beat. So you go online and you post these beats. Some companies have it to where they buy them. Some companies have it to where you can post your beats under your username. And then if an artist or a company decides to use that beat, then you get paid. Okay. So a lot of these top producers and people will buy drops, beats, moans, noises. They're available in sound banks. And they can buy a brick of them, or they can buy them individually. They can pick out specific creators if they really like their beats and their sounds, or they just can type in the search bar, I'm looking for a sound of a cow with the funky bass drop. So you may hear moo, boom, 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 moo, boom, 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 moo, and you're like, okay, I want that. I want to buy it. And then it's not a lot of money. It's, sometimes it's cents on the dollar. Sometimes if you go onto a website and you get a bunch of different beats, and then you put them in your cart and you can buy them all together and digitally download. That's how modern music is mostly made. Most artists, most composers and everything really are not buying their own beats, okay? So they take all these beats and these drops and these sounds, and they put them all together to make a sound. So let me tell you, sometimes you hear a K-pop song or even a pop song that you swear to God, a melody, you've heard it in another song. It's happened to all of us. You listen to a song and you hear and then you're like, you'll hear a song and it's mixed in with other things, but it's in the background. Then you'll hear another song 6-7 months later, and you hear ding 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 ding, and you're like, that sounds like this other song. Wait a minute. It's not plagiarism. It's not copying. That ding 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 was created by somebody else, and they just paid to put it in their song. It's not the artist singing it. It's somebody created that. So it's not plagiarism, because they don't own that particular drop. It's owned by somebody else. So people take all kinds of things and put beats behind it and make noise and put all kinds of things behind it. So yes, you could be watching an adult film, record, and take that from an adult film and put a synthesizer beat behind it, for instance. So the producer will get a whole bunch. They're making noise music. They hear, They like, I like that. They'll take it and put it in a song. They didn't create it. They don't know the origins of it. They got it off of a sound bank, and that's how music is made. And so again, when you hear songs that in your ear, melodies sound the same, bridges sound the same, a lot of times, yes, they may have the same composers and the same producers, but then a lot of times it may be two separate companies, two separate producers that just may be using the same SoundCloud bank. There are whole YouTube channels that you can look up where they tell you why these songs are similar and where they got these beats from and who are the most prolific beat makers in pop music. There are a bunch of them that a lot of beats that they play on these YouTube channels where they instruct you and guide you so you can hear where these beats came from. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. And then sometimes you'll hear a beat and you're like, I heard that before, and then you realize this is the same person. This person has made other beats that kind of sound similar, but kind of in the same genre. There's a really, really famous one that kind of makes like these Arab infused Caribbean Afro beats that have been used in Le Seraphim, Smarter, and a bunch of other songs too. But Tyler songs, it's the same person making the same beats. This person, I forgot their name. I don't know if it's a group of people. Sometimes it's a group of people that make these beats. And again, they make money by selling beats to composers and singers and artists. And that's how they make their money, but they own the beats. So again, for KATSEYE, I don't know if it's true about this sound. Some people are telling me it's not true and that the Geffen Records are going to sue for defamation. But even if it was true, it's not like the producers are sitting around watching adult film and then holding up a $500 microphone to their damn TV or laptop. Like, it doesn't happen. That rarely happens. You may get some really eclectic hands-on producers that do that. It's the shaman again, girl. Yes, the shaman again, girl. I said, I keep telling y'all it's the shaman. I need to do a live about the shaman. I am going to do a whole video. I'm going to come out next week and I'm going to do a whole video about the shaman. I'm going to do a regular video, not a live stream, but a regular video. Like, I'm almost ready to go. I'm almost ready to do it. I just did my video about under 15, by the way. If y'all stay tuned on Monday, tomorrow, my under 15, I think it's Monday or Tuesday, my under 15 video drops, which is a K-pop survivor show, by the way. It's the K-pop survivor show that got canceled that had little girls in it. And it was disgusting. But yes, I am working on my shaman video as we speak. I just have to finish writing it and editing it. And I'm going to do a whole deep dive into the shaman thing. And then once I post my video, I'm going to come to live stream and we're going to talk extensively about the shaman thing. Because it came up today in another story that I won't get into. But it came up today. But yes, that's why KATSEYE are in trouble. They are dragging. It's just coincidence to me that this story came out right before they're set to perform Lollapalooza. And again, these producers, these creatives are not making their own beats. When it comes to noise music, and especially, they just throw in a bunch of stuff in the background that sounds nice. So even if this did come from an adult film, which I am told that people are debunking this, saying this does not happen, this still ruins KATSEYE reputation, I guess, because again, it's in K-pop spaces, but this did not, hello, So Young, it did not make international news. This is in K-pop spaces. It did not make national news. Because again, nationally, we don't care. Like I said, even if I take it to so far that this was true, and the producers did turn on an adult film, and then they did hold the microphone up to the adult film and record some kind of moaning and groaning. Again, in the West, we just kind of like, can't tell you how many Disney movies that have like boobies and sex spelled out in clouds and all kinds of, there's a whole YouTube videos about all the inappropriate stuff in Disney animation. There's all kind of like genitalia, there's all kinds of messages written in clouds. Artistic people have been doing this for decades. There's all kind of Disney movies since the 60s and 70s that disgruntled employees or employees just do. Lion King is full of all kinds of smutty stuff. People have been doing this in songs. There's all kinds of songs that I said they won't be the only K-pop group that has ever used something inappropriate in a song. There's plenty of pop music that have used inappropriate drops in songs and everything like that. So this is not something new, I would say. I wouldn't put it past a producer doing something like this as just a giggle and think that nobody was going to find out about it. And like I said, it's happened in the music industry. It happens in the movie industry. It's just, when you're dealing with men and they're bored and they're sitting around and they just thought it was cute and funny. But again, what I'm hearing is that this is not true and that this Korean article provided no proof that this is what was going on. So take it what you will. They didn't provide any proof as to what they just said. Sources said or person okay, it's not real proof. So that's what's going on with KATSEYE. I don't want KATSEYE's reputation to be ruined because of this. I think, and I said really the opposite. If y'all really think about it, with this coming out about the song Gnarly, I think it's like pushed the sales of Gnarly. I think people who didn't pay attention to the song have now went out and downloaded the damn song. So people who didn't pay attention to the song before is like, from what I heard, that by the time the numbers come out, it didn't pushed up the sales of the song Gnarly. So good luck. I was like, if you put you, I don't even understand. I said, I guess they trying to besmirch KATSEYE's reputation, but y'all failed. Y'all failed miserably because I said this just gonna make people go download the song even more now. Thanks, Korean media. Like y'all are so piss poor. Y'all just so horrible. I mean, but I don't, again, I don't care about their reputation. I don't care about in Korea. I don't care about that. Again, they're a global group. And I need Korean media. The only reason they're messing with them is because of the Hive. Like I said, I consider it just a really weird coincidence that this all. Do I love New Jeans? No. I don't like girl groups, but I want New Jeans to be gone, far away from Hive, and just be gone. Pay the money and go. Get your cash app together. Get the bunnies to pay the fees. I just want New Jeans to just be gone out of Hive, and to go on to pay their money and just be on their way. It would make life a lot easier, and it would be it would just be, to me, the mature um thing to do. It would just be thing to do. And then, like I said, with Korea, everything is a controversy in Korea. Like you breathe, and it's a controversy because New Jeans, if they are not happy at where they're at, then they need to go, and it happens. If they are not happy with the door, then they need to leave. Then they need to pay their money and be gone. But the idea that you're going to get out of a contract, no, I don't think anybody should be let out of a contract without paying the penalty. Oh, thank you, Soyan. It's a business decision. If I go out and I pay my money and invest my money into a company or a person or an artist, and I sign a contract with them, and they are trying to get out of a contract, and there's no valid reason why you want to get out of the contract, then you got to go. I can't bargain my way out of a contract unless there's been some violation of the contract. Unless there's something in the contract where they have violated. What do I think about the Blackpink new song? Oh, the Jump song? It's okay. It Jump is okay. It's okay. It's not one of my favorite Blackpink songs. But it does sound much like a Blackpink song. But it's okay. But again, I'm not a girl group person. I like Blackpink. I like Lisa. I like Blackpink when they on. But that song Jump, it's okay. I thought it was an alright song. It sounds like a YG Blackpink song. But yeah, to me, New Jeans is not an emotional thing. It's just business. I cannot, anyway, if somebody signed me for a contract, which I've been in contracts before, and they hire me to do something, and then that I'm just gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna provide that service because I didn't like how this person talked to me. That is not how baby, that is not how contracts work. There's plenty of people I've worked with. Somebody who's I had my own businesses, and they would contract me to provide products. I used to have my own bath and body company. They would contract with me to provide them stuff. Like I need this many soaps, I need this many candles. Okay. If it comes to the point where I want to get out of the contract, they could easily sue me. I can't just be like, well, no, I'm not going to make that. What for? Oh, well, because I didn't like the way the owner talked to me. Baby, please get the fuck out of here. Like I can't be like, well, I'm not going to provide the product now. Even though you're contractually obligated to provide these soaps and these things. That's what we need. That's what you've agreed to. I can't just be like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Why? I don't know, because I didn't like the way the owner talked to me, and okay, that's not part of your contract. You are here to provide goods and services. The same thing for an entertainment contract. It's just like if you have a brand deal. If you have a brand deal with a company, and then all of a sudden you want to back out of that brand deal, you are going to get sued. You're going to get sued into oblivion, because there has to be a really airtight reason for you to get out of your contract. Like you have to experience some type of bodily harm. They have to breach the contract, the terms of the contract in some specific way. So if I sign a contract with somebody and they're promising to give me a hotel room and I didn't get that hotel room, and it's in the contract says right here, you promised me a hotel room for a week and I was supposed to get grapes and I didn't get that, then that's a breach of contract. But if it's something comes to the point where something I don't like, is it in the contract? Were you harmed anyway? Were you bodily harmed? Did somebody physically threaten you? Were you pushed? Were you shoved? Were your rights violated? No? Okay, well then, honey, that's how contracts goes, especially in the Korean industry. Their contracts are airtight. Like their contracts are some of the strictest contracts, and there are things in the contracts I do not agree with regarding all kinds of things. But New Jeans contracts, there's nothing that I've seen a door where they violated the terms of the contract. Just because as an artist, you may not agree with certain decisions that the company is making or who the CEO is, that's not in your contract. Your contract is not predicated on who the CEO is or who's your boss. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That you have a contract with the company, not the CEO, not your management, not your staff. There are people, staff members have been fired, friends have been fired from companies that they've worked with. Same thing has happened to all artists. They've lost CEOs, they've lost executives. You don't get to be like, I want Min Hee Jin back. We want to violate our contract. Baby, that's not in your contract. Is it in your contract? No? Okay, well, you're not going to go anywhere. Somebody didn't say hi to me in the hallway. So what? Move on. When I heard that shit, I was like, this is not serious. I was like, fuck them bitches. This is not serious. You are not serious if you're complaining about whether somebody didn't bow deep enough to you in a hallway. Get out of here. Like, you are not serious. That was not even nothing that a grown person would even complain about, even in Korea. It's silly. That's nothing that New Jeans, I'm waiting still for them to provide a compelling argument as to why the contract should be broken. I have not seen not one legal thing. Well, we didn't, the Seraphim got better brand deals. Honey, branding deals normally are not, it's an offshoot. It's not a guarantee in your contract. Well, we're going to guarantee, if it's not, is it in the contract? Did you guarantee the Louis V deal? No? Okay, well, things happen. It's not, if it's not in the contract, I don't care. It's not in the contract. And that applies to BTS. That applies to every artist out there in South Korea. It's not a personal thing. It's a business thing. You cannot, the K-pop industry's foundation is their contracts. You won't have an industry if people are just like, I don't like the way this person talked to me, I'm getting out my contract. Baby, you have no industry. There would be not, welcome to America. Well, then you must have turned the K-pop industry into, even in America, you can't pull that here. If an artist is in a contract, a writer, whoever is a creative is in a contract, they are contractually obligated. I know people who've been screenwriters and they had their boss in their ass every day. The showrunner cussing them out every day. You MFers, y'all better write this. Da, 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 da. Oh my God, this person is really verbally abusive. They like, you got a contract, so that's the way the showrunner is all the time. And on a major show too. I won't say what show it is, but the showrunner was cussing everybody out every day. And guess what? They were like, suck it up, Buttercup. Good luck trying to get out. Well, I don't like the way this person talked to me. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody's like, okay, how many episodes are you supposed to write on? 4. You better shut up and write your 4 fucking episodes. You can't get out that contract. That's what you're getting paid to do, is to write on these episodes. That's your job. You can't sit here and be like, well, I don't like the showrunner's attitude. Well, we have to work late. Is it in your contract saying how many hours you work a day? No. Well, I guess you're going to stay here until this episode's done. Shit. And guess what he had to do? He had to stay there and write that episode with the other writers and sit in that writer's room until it was done. There ain't that. You can't just be like, well, I don't want to sit here all day. Fuck out of here. Contracts are fake. How are contracts fake? Contracts are legally binding. What are you talking about? Contracts are fake. They are legally binding. Whenever you work for any industry, it's a contract. Marriage is a contract. I cannot get married to somebody. That is a legal binding contract. I can't get married to somebody and then be like, oh, well, I'm not married no more. What? And we have a business together. I can't just be like, contracts are fake. What the fuck are you talking about? You sound like a child. Contracts are legally binding. It's legally binding, especially in a capitalist economy, especially in South Korea. South Korea has probably are very heavily contractuated. Thank you, So Young. But that's what you have to do. If you don't like the contract, don't sign it. Again, I don't get to be married and be like, we have assets together, and I just get to walk off and just, oh, I'm not married anymore. No, you have to get a divorce. You have to end that contract. And if you have a business together, guess what? You're gonna have to split those assets. If you have children together, hello, bye, So Young. And if you have children together, you're gonna have to share custody because legally both of y'all are responsible for their children. You're gonna have to probably pay maybe alimony depending on the state and child support. You cannot just walk out of a marriage and be like, I don't like the way this person treats me. I'm not married anymore. And get on social media and be like, I'm single, everybody, I'm single. Hey, marriage is a contract. You're legally bound to that person. You have to go through divorce proceedings. If you own a home together, you own a business together, you have to split those assets. You have to work out through those assets. And it may take months, it may take years. There's people been in divorce court for years trying to rectify their assets. You don't get to walk out of contracts like it's nothing, like it's just a walk through a park. Same thing, like I said, the best thing I can equivalent to is marriage. You don't get to walk out of your marriage and y'all own a home together and you're like, oh, by the way, husband, you need to move out. I don't want to be married anymore. You move out. What? I own this house too. You can't kick me out. Well, no, you need to leave. What? Wait a minute. I bought this house too. You have to go to court. The courts have to settle it. You don't get to just dictate terms of a contract that you've already signed for. If you don't like the terms of the contract, don't sign the contract. Contracts are not fake. Contracts are legally binding. In some places, you violate a contract, in your ass end up in jail. Depending on what country you're in. There's some countries, depending on the contract, you can be legally bound to incarceration. So it just depends on what it is. We're talking about government contracts, you can be fined heavily. You can't walk out of a contract. That's just, it is what it is. New jeans cannot just walk their asses out of a contract, period. And if you want to get out of a contract, a judge has to decide to end it. And 9 times out of 10 in Korea, they understand that they can't have people walking out of contracts whenever they want to. That's just how it goes. That's the business of the industry. Any industry, even here in America, that's how the music industry is. And again, I think the contracts are evasive and unfair. I said earlier, I think the contracts are unfair and evasive. I think the contracts are very evasive. Some of the shit in contracts is ridiculous. It's things that I would never agree to. But then it's like, what choice do you have? You want to be in the industry? Then you get to sign this contract. There's things that have to be done inside and outside of the industry, again, that I don't agree with, but it is what it is. I didn't make the K-pop industry, but again, I'm doing my video about SM Entertainment and the history of that. They learned what they learned here in America. Because back in the day, back in our history, back in the day, our contracts used to be like that. So again, I can't sit on my hoity-toity American high horse because K-pop got this stuff from us. That's where they got it from. They took everything, they came to America and learned everything about the American entertainment industry and how it was back in the 40s and 50s. You had these slave contracts back in the 40s and 50s with actors and actresses. That's where the K-pop industry got. They didn't invent this shit on their own. They got it from us. And that's how the contract used to be. People don't understand. If you know the history, hello, JK, if you know the history of the American entertainment industry, people have fought hard to change the industry. The industry didn't just wake up and just be the industry of what it is. People filed lawsuits. Do y'all not understand these child stars that the parents were taking their money? The little kids were being locked in closets until they performed it. The industry was nothing nice back in the day. And Korea and K-pop took all of that and just transferred it over to Korea. The trainee system is it's nothing new. It's the old Hollywood system. So to talk about the industry, you're also talking about it's slavery. You're talking about the history of America. Korea didn't think of none of this. None of this is their idea. They just went to America and was like, oh, so this is how we, oh, so this is how we doing it? The diet pills, the dieting. Again, Korea didn't think, their society wasn't like this. That's us. That's America. Oh, you got to have weigh-ins and stuff. That's the old Hollywood system. That's the old Hollywood system. It's a reason why a lot of these old Hollywood stars were all anorexic and they put them on all kinds of diet, even the plastic surgery. Yes, they took it from America and Japan. Yes, even the plastic surgery. I was like, y'all do know that people was getting plastic surgery in Hollywood in the 30s and the 40s. Like I'm gonna do a whole video about that too, about the plastic surgery. Because that's not Korean. Korea didn't invent plastic surgery. Now they've made it more affordable. They've made it's much more widespread in South Korea, but they didn't invent that. Stars were getting nose jobs and chin jobs and everything in the 50s and the 60s. Plastic surgery has been a dirty little secret in an American industry, even down to this day. A lot of stars have had work, but in Korea, it's much more out in the open. People talk about it. It's a lot cheaper. People go to South Korea to get people from other countries go to get their face done and their body done. It's cheaper there. They pumping out that plastic surgery like it's McDonald's hamburgers over there. And sometimes it can be very dangerous. But I'm gonna do a whole video about the history of plastic surgery because again, it's not Korean. None of these things you see are Korean. It's just not. They just took it. They took the worst shit of America in our industry that people have fought. And again, in Korea, in order for it to change, people are going to have to litigate the hell out of it. They're going to have to change the industry by fighting through the courts. And that's what people did here. People took, but our courts and Korean courts are totally different. But that's what they had to do. They had to fight. Kids had to fight to get rights. They had no limits on how long these kids could be singing and dancing. These kids would be working all day. I'm like, that's just how it was. The trainee system, some of it was Isuman, but a lot of it was like, okay, in America, their dancing system, their system in the 30s and 40s was so grueling on young people. You know, they did, like JK said, they took it from America. It's no shock, it's no mystery. It just is what it is. It took it from America. It's born and bred here. And people, and that brings me to my next subject. What annoys me, but I talked about KATSEYE and Gnarly and the controversy behind that, and I hope that we can get this squared away and y'all leave KATSEYE alone because there's been controversy regarding KATSEYE and one of the members. There's been controversy with that. She was injured, and then people were saying that she was getting kicked out the group, and she came on there and Weverse and was like, what is wrong with y'all? Like it's just speculation and stupidity. So y'all leave KATSEYE alone. I support those girls. And even though, like I said, I'm not in the girl groups, I'm not in their music, but I do support KATSEYE. So thumbs up to KATSEYE, and people leave them alone. And I didn't see how they, let me go and see how they did. Anybody know, anyone see how they did Lollapalooza? Because I didn't watch it. Maybe they haven't posted it yet. Maybe I need to subscribe to their channel because I don't subscribe to their channel. KATSEYE, oh yeah, they do. They posted, somebody posted it. And KATSEYE, I have to say, whoever doing their stylist, KATSEYE always looks so good. They look so damn good all the time. They look stunning. Like all the time they look stunning. Everything they wear is just stunning. I've never seen any girl group look like KATSEYE. Like on the real. Like all the girl groups out there, they need to take their and then people were saying that they was trying to kick Manyoung or whatever her name is out the group. And KATSEYE are all beautiful. They're beautiful, beautiful young lady. All of them. They're stunning, stunning young lady. And they always look so good. So, I better put it on mute because, you know, but they always look so good. So whoever do they styling, they need a raise because KATSEYE always look good. And their performances are always good. So hands off to KATSEYE. Y'all leave them alone. Which brings me to another thing about K-pop fans and my arguments against K-pop. I have hung out with many people and know many people that are into different genres of music. Because again, I'm new to the whole K-pop thing because I haven't been BTS Army for very long, and I've been into K-pop since 2022, so it hasn't been that long. And I consider myself a casual K-pop fan of everything else, but I'm BTS Army. So I have never seen a bunch of fandoms where people don't know like the history of their own genre of music. Like I've said it before, I know rap people who know rap. I have a son that plays bass guitar and he knows stuff like that. Yeah, KATSEYE isn't K-pop. Yes. They shouldn't complain about nothing from KATSEYE. That's right, JK. You tell them, you get them, girl. KATSEYE is not K-pop. So they don't stand by the same rules that K-pop do. They're a global group. So leave KATSEYE alone. If y'all want to put all this, morality on them. But what I was saying is that I think that K-pop fans, what annoys me is that they don't know the history of their own music. There are things that go on K-pop now that are new. And then people act like, I'm going to do a whole video about this, but people act like they've been around a long time. People online are always like, well, idols can't do that and idols can't do that. And I'm like, since when? I'm like, okay, they used to. And it won't even be that long ago. We ain't talking about 10, 15, 20 years ago, but it'd be like 5 years ago. Y'all do know the K-pop industry has changed significantly since COVID. Like COVID changed the industry a lot, better and worse. And sometimes it's different than it was pre-COVID. Like I went back and looked at all these videos and looked at all these things and listened to people and how the K-pop industry has really significantly changed. But there are so many things that happen in K-pop that people get upset about or get riled up about. But I'm just like, that's new. That this hasn't always been like this. And so I'm gonna do a whole video about like, and I'll probably do a live stream because I feel like I can explain it. Because to me, it's easy for me to explain and to write out a whole script because it's kind of nuanced. There are so many things that happen in K-pop that people just don't know the history of the own genre of music or even the own groups that they listen to. There are people out there, groups, especially groups that have been around for a long time. A lot of the fans are really up and up. Like BTS Army knows the history of BTS. So I can't say that. But there are other groups out there that people don't even know the history of their own groups. Like I'm just like, this group used to do this. Oh, well, I'm like, okay, do y'all not realize? Like, okay, like but Army is real hip. Army, y'all know BTS's history. Y'all, a lot of y'all really, really do. But there's so many other groups that they're fans out there that just don't know the history of their own groups, or they don't know the history of K-pop in general. And I'm just like, how do you be a fan of a music industry that y'all don't know little to nothing about? And that is really wild to me. And love the industry and follow these people online and Twitter, and y'all download the albums and y'all buy the physical album, and y'all know about where your bias is from and where he came from, and y'all know about the discography of y'all groups. A lot of y'all, most of y'all do, but y'all don't know the history of y'all. Like I said, people who I know who are really passionate about rap music know about the history of rap music. They know about Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, and they know at least about a little bit of like Eminem and where their music came from. People I know who are really into R&B and soul music, they know Whitney Houston. They love Beyonce. They love Doechii, but they know Whitney Houston and they know Mariah Carey and they understand. They know Rihanna and Mary J. Blige. Those people know that. They need people who love rock. My son loves rock music. My son plays bass guitar and he knows about the Beatles and he knows about Metallica and My Chemical Romance and he knows about stuff like that in modern music. So my daughter likes all her little indie stuff and she knows about, the indie stuff today, but then also about the crazy indie stuff back in the day. But then my daughter doesn't listen to a lot of popular music, but she understands. My kids know certain artists. They know they've heard of Britney Spears. They know like, okay, this person is really popular. They understand that. They understand the basis of pop music. That back in the day, Prince, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, they know that. They like, okay, they may not like the music, but they know that. But I've never seen a fandom of a bunch of millions of people who don't know the history of K-pop. K-pop has not been around that long. K-pop really came in its heyday 10 years ago. But if you ask K-pop fans about certain groups long time ago, they just crash out. They don't know the history of their own genre. So when I start telling people, okay, well, K-pop didn't used to be this, and they used to be, well, K-pop's, they can't come out here I'm gonna give y'all an example. The sexy thing. So, I spoke about it before I get to my crawl, that K-pop singers, especially the ladies, have to be these demure, androgynous people. I don't know how many times I've seen in comment sections, even on my own channel, where people are like, well, they can't be sexy in K-pop. Since when? I'm like, what? I'm like, you do know K-pop groups used to have sexy concepts. You do know that K-pop singers talked about innuendos, and it wasn't like, we ain't talking about like 20, 30 years ago. There's a lot of Big Bang fans who became fans after watching TLP, and they know nothing. Thank you. And I'm like, how do you be a fan of a genre so hard? I can understand the new fans. I give y'all grace. The people who just came to K-pop within the past year or two, y'all are still on y'all journey. I get it. But I know people have been fans of K-pop for a long time, and then they talking about, well, K-pop singers can't be sexy and K-pop singers didn't. And I'm like, okay, but we had years of this. We had years of sexy concepts. And that's just one example of many. I'm like, we had and it's not that long ago. I'm like, well, K-pop singers, well, they can't show their personality. Since when? 2018, 2019, there are plenty of interviews and plenty of groups where they talked about sex, they talked about dating, they talked about girls, they did songs about girls. Since when? I'm like, so what? I'm like, what bizarre world are y'all living in? Well, the K-pop industry, well, they can't do this and they can't do that. Okay, but these are new rules. These are not old rules. Yeah, they don't know about orange caramel. They used to do all kinds of different all kinds of different concepts. Well, they can't do this kind of concept. I still be like, okay, but says who? Like, I get so annoyed about this, and I'm like, this is on YouTube. This is on the internet. They used to do funny concepts. Like JK said, Orange Caramel was a big group back in the day. They used to do really funny, kitschy songs. There was space and room for that. For K-pop fans who say that they know K-pop and they love K-pop, to come up with these nonsensical arguments about well, they can't do this and they can't do that. Yeah, they can. Yes, they can, and they have. They can and they have. It's just the fandom won't let them do. And the agency, to some point, won't let them do that. K-pop singers used to have dance with girls. Well, they can't dance with girls or boys. There's plenty of K-pop singers, solos, and groups that dance with the opposite sex. They had songs and music videos where they were with the opposite sex. Where they was over here like they was like a damn K-drama, and they're like, oh my God, Roderick, and Roderick's like, yeah, and I was like, oh my God, like I've seen it. I watch old school K-pop videos, and I'm like, how did we go from Big Bang with people on a leash, singing with girls, dancing with girls in the video talking about, how did we go from that to, oh, well, they just, somebody got a booty cheek showing, gasp, gasp, gasp. Oh my God. Like, she was on here and she was talking about, I think it was an innuendo about sex. Oh my God. I'm like, how the hell did we get to this? There's whole K-pop groups with a whole songs talking about, baby, baby, I need you. Baby, baby, I want you. Baby, baby, let's go hang out at my house late at night. Come on, girl, let's go. Like, there's whole songs out there that are innuendos. Not anything dirty, not anything explicit. But I'm still trying to rectify in my little mind what the hell happened to K-pop. I don't know what happened. It's like all of a sudden 2021 came and all of a sudden everything became sanitized. Everything and then no and then like everybody got amnesia. I know that K-pop singers can't date. They haven't been able to date in a long time, but they used to be able to a long, long time ago. I get that. I know K-pop singers can't smoke. They can't be caught smoking. Okay, that's a big taboo. That's an Asian culture. But all of these other things that y'all be on be so silly to me that I'm just like, but it didn't used to be that way. And it wasn't even that long ago. And I'm like, okay, how old are you? 5? I'm like, were you not alive 5 or 6 years ago? Are you 7? Are you 9 years old and you weren't alive then? Because surely if you're a 20-something-year-old or even a teenage K-pop fan, you had to remember, unless you're very new, which I give you grace. But there are people claiming that they've been K-pop fans a long time, and then they're even in BTS Army. That you have BTS Army that are gatekeeping shit that I'm just like, that's no, that's not really, that wasn't really a thing that now all of a sudden now it's a thing. Now K-pop singers can't have innuendos. Now K-pop singers can't dance with women. Now K-pop singers, the other point, J-Hope not having no shirt on. They're like, oh my God, he ain't got no shirt on. I'm like, the Big Bang, I'm sure they always running around half naked. Big Bang. I'm like, they had whole songs where he had no shirt on. They, they, they had no shirt on back in the day. They was all running around with no shirt on. It was a whole shirtless era. How many Big Bang videos do I got to see? Well, was it Tae Yang or whatever running around with no damn shirt on every 5 seconds? I was like, every Big Bang video, I'm like, oh, he ain't got no shirt on this one again. Okay. And then other groups too that had no shirts on. Do y'all not understand there was a K-pop group where the men was wearing heels? Do y'all not understand what I'm telling y'all? There was a whole K-pop group where the men would come on stage dressed like they were in a bondage fest with 10-inch heels on. Let me see. What's the name of that group? When I started researching about K-pop, my jaw dropped. I was like, is it men in heels? Let me find that group. Child, I gotta find a K-pop group where the men was wearing heels, child. Girl, let me tell you, honey. What was the name of the group? Jimmy lifted his shirt. Yeah, the first music video, that was 12 years, that was like 10, 11 years ago. And then y'all are like shocked because y'all see a male nipple. I'm like, okay, K-pop group, men in heels. I'm like, y'all do understand that, like, the things that y'all get so shocked about. I'm just like, why is this a thing? I'm like, oh my God, like, I just be dying. I'll be over here gagging. That K-pop fans just be going crazy, and I'm just like, but I'm like, but they used to do this though. The K-pop used to be kind of shocking. Remember the time that Taeyoung BTS V was dancing in heels? Or remember the time when K-pop singers used to cross-dress, like the dudes would come out dressed like women and the women would come out dressed like men? Do you remember? And they stopped doing that? Like, that was used to be a cutesy thing where the girls, where the boys would come out dressed like girls, and they have whole groups online where they have dresses on and they came out dancing and they come out and sing a girl group. Why did we stop doing that? Why was that? I was like, I didn't understand. I was just like, what? Why did we stop doing this? There's a group called KATSEYE. There's a group called KAZAKY who was a K-pop group that would come out here in heels. And they caused quite a sensation. And I'm just like, this is 12 years ago, y'all. And I'm like, so what happened? I'm still, help me, y'all, figure out what happened to K-pop. I don't understand whether this was a decision, but I was like, but K-pop didn't used to be like this, like when they started gearing it for children. I don't know what happened. So I'm again, I'm trying to figure out what happened. I'm just like, what happened? So I go through here every once in a while, and I go through here and I watch videos and I watch all kinds of things of in the golden age of K-pop, and I die a little bit inside, y'all, because I'm like, what happened? Like, so we just gave up on this? And then it's not just like the K-pop has evolved and grown, and it should evolve and grow. But the fact that everybody just got amnesia, everybody just like, no, that never, like, oh no, he can't come on here with no shirt on. He can't dance with a girl. And I just be gagging. I'll be like, and then the fans have a problem with it. I was like, but 5, 6 years ago, fans didn't have a problem with it. Why would y'all have a problem now? So I'm trying to figure out what this is, because I have not found an answer to it. I watch videos and I watch and I watch and I watch, y'all, and I am trying to find an answer to my question as to why K-pop fans don't know the history of their own genre. And other fans, we know the history of the music that we like. I know the history of rap music, classical music, and other music that I like. I understand the different eras and the different outfits and how rap music and hip hop has changed throughout the decades, and how music from the past influences the music now. But now with K-pop, it's just strange to me that there is no reference to K-pop's past. It's like K-pop seeks to erase the past, and it's a very odd phenomenon to me. So that's why I feel like K-pop fans cannot grow or have cannot, but it can, but have a hard time growing and evolving and changing, because K-pop fans don't know their past. Once you realize happened in the past, then you can go back to the past of the industry and being like, well, this happened a long time ago. Let's try to bring this back. I don't see those decisionings happening on an agency level and happening on an artistic level. It's like K-pop just works hard to kind of be like, oh, these old groups, we're not going to pay attention anymore. But obviously there's a market for it, because whenever 21 or Big Bang or G-Dragon go on tour, they attract huge crowds. So obviously there is a market for this. But within like the coredom of K-pop, I just see like there is a less acknowledgement of the past. And I find that very odd. I find that very missing. Like whenever I watch like music award shows and stuff like that, whenever I watch music award shows like here in America, like the Video Music Awards or the Grammys or the American Music Awards and stuff like that, they always bring back old artists and old, stars from they either announce an award or sometimes they come back and perform. But when I watch the Mnets or stuff like that, they do bring back, maybe an old group or something like that. But I rarely see them like really highlight older groups. And that's because K-pop has an incredibly short shelf life. Most groups do not last longer than 5 years, much less 7, much less as long as BTS. And BTS is getting up there. Like they've withstood the test of time. And that's the sad thing about K-pop. I feel like K-pop is much more disposable. People are on to the next thing, on to the newest thing, without acknowledging the past that they came from. So this is something that I really, guys, I have to do a deep dive, because I thought about this today and I'm like, that is the most oddest thing, that K-pop fans act like everything that goes on now is how it's ever been, ever was, ever gonna be. Like, oh my God, they can't do this and they can't do this and they should do this. And I'm like, but hold on. No, there is a different way. I'm like, no, they don't have to do that. They can do music videos where they're shirtless. I don't know how this became not a thing. I have no idea how K-pop became this cookie cutter and sanitized over the years. I have no idea how K-pop became this bland. To me, K-pop back in the day had so much flavor. It had, you get something a little mild, a little spicy, a little vanilla, something that's a little colorful, something that's a little more muted. There was a lot more variety in K-pop. Now these agencies, and again, I put a lot of blame on the agencies, everything is so cookie cutter, everything is so bland, Everything is just so like rigid. Everything looks alike and sounds alike and acts alike and dances alike. That K-pop agencies are pretty much pulled out a formula for success. They the business is you got to do this and this and this and this and this in order to be successful or in order to make a lot of money. Now, with there's so many agencies now than it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, there wasn't as many. There's different agencies and different groups, child, popping up all the time. And I just feel like that has watered down the product. That has taken the spice out of K-pop. It's taken the variety out of K-pop. And I don't like it. I don't like cookie cutter. I like groups that are grown. Yes, you can have the childlike group and the groups for the young folks. But damn it, if you're 25 years old, let's have a little something for the grown folks too. But it's just like K-pop tries to do everything to appeal to everybody. So in their desire to become more marketable and push this, and it's watered down now. It's so vanilla. It's so safe. It's so vanilla because vanilla appeals to everybody. There's rarely anybody who's like, I don't like vanilla. Everybody, you can eat a vanilla cake, vanilla pudding, vanilla ice cream. Vanilla is just bland. It's just a base foundation for everything. Because once you start adding cookies to your vanilla, then some people are like, well, I don't like cookies in my vanilla. And some people are like, well, I like cookies, but not these cookies. K-pop wants to keep it so safe and so bland that it's just acceptable to everybody. But now it's getting to the point because they're losing money that's acceptable to nobody. That everybody is bored. So when people come up with these wildest, crazy, stupid concepts, then people are like, oh my God, look how wonderful it is. It don't even got to be that good as long as it's just some people are dying for something different. And I wish K-pop would take more risks and say that, okay, yes, we're going to have these groups over here, but then we're going to try to push the envelope and present something a little bit newer and different, but good. You know, you don't have to be different just to be different for different sake, but something good. But again, the K-pop industry is going to have to start losing a lot more money before they are all waiting for BTS to come back. But once BTS come back, I still don't think this is going to fix the industry, even if BTS come back. I think when BTS come back, that K-pop is going to do good for HYBE. It'll boost the business up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be in the way that people think that it will. I just want K-pop to have more nuance. I just want K-pop to grow. K-pop to me has regressed so bad, and I'm not the only person that thinks that. Me and my sister-in-law, we talk about this all the time, how K-pop has just regressed into like mediocrity. Like everything sounds alike. All the songs sound the same. All the groups look the same. All the boy groups, they all run together. I couldn't tell you the difference between Kickflip and News and Nuas and OAS, and then the names keep getting more crazier. Like I just want K-pop to be able to have different things for different people, and they will bring in more international fans, I believe, that way. Stop just trying to appeal to these little fucking kids. I'm gonna say it again. Stop trying to appeal to the TikTok generation for every damn group. Every group doesn't have to have a 2-minute and 5-second song. Every group don't have to look alike. All their outfits are just bland, just solid colors. They all look alike. We're gonna have a schoolboy or schoolgirl concept. Then we're gonna have like an adult concept where they're all gonna be wearing some kind of monochromatic insanity. They're all gonna wear like browns. Browns is the in color in. So everybody has to wear browns and beige now because that's what's in. And then we're gonna have people just wearing white. And then we're gonna be wearing gray. Browns, black, browns. I'm like, damn, K-pop, we can't do color no more. Color is out. If you look at the new K-pop group, they got black on, they got brown, they got beige, they got white, they got off-white. I'm like, what in the holy hell fuck? I'm like, what monochromatic nightmare am I living in? This is not creativity. They all got the little short skirts and little tops and straps that go here. The straps got to go here. The straps got to be strappy. And then they all have the little arm things on their arm. They got to have arm things on their arm. And then their hair all just is wavy or flat. And it's all black. I'm like, damn, can we at least go back to the era where they was dyeing their fucking hair? Can I go back to the era that was dyeing their hair? No? Dang, at least that was some kind of color. Nobody wants to wear, or they wear a nice soft blush, a soft pink. They maybe wear a soft pink. What is with these muted tones? What is going? I'm like, what is happening? What is you? Everybody in the earth tone? Okay, everybody wearing white? Yay! I'm like, okay, everybody, or they go for the Y2K concept. Everybody got baggy jeans and a sweatshirt and some Timberland boots, looking like they're wearing their big brother's clothes. Everybody doing that now? Oh, okay. Everybody got to be Y2K. They got to be up there dancing with jeans on and crop tops and baggy shirts. And I just be sitting here like this. So this is what we all doing now. This is what we all doing. Is everybody Y2K concept. Everybody just copy, rinse, repeat. Copy, rinse, repeat. No. No. I need somebody to be like, damn it, we're gonna do a sexy concept. It don't have to be smutty, it don't have to be dirty, but we want y'all to be grown. We don't need y'all up here looking like little schoolgirls. We're fine. We moved on from that. We need y'all to be grown and sexy. And again, I don't understand why this is not a thing in K-pop when most people who do listen to K-pop listens to other form of music. Damn it! Look, I'm ranting and raving tonight, but I don't understand nothing. I don't understand about K-pop fans, and y'all help me understand. I don't understand why K-pop fans can listen to other music, other groups, other bands, other singers. Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter is really big right now. Sabrina Carpenter. Let's use her as an example. I'm not a fan of Sabrina Carpenter. But let's go, let's do some research. I'm not a fan of Sabrina Carpenter, but I know a lot of the young folks is even in Korea. Like, she's a global artist. She's real well known. She's really taken off. I don't understand how Sabrina Carpenter can do the video man child, can walk around in booty shorts, looking fabulous. Sabrina Carpenter is a pretty, gorgeous girl. I remember when she was an actress. She's gorgeous. I don't understand how Sabrina Carpenter can walk around with little booty shorts on, smoke a fake cigarette, and then walk around here with a bra on, with titties hanging out, and K-pop audiences think that's good. But then if a K-pop singer did it, they would have a problem with it. Somebody please explain me how do these things equate? If you, look, I didn't see Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion go to Japan. When Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion went to Japan, when they've been on tours, international tours with other artists and by themselves, and Meg Thee Stallion get up there with all her Meg Thee Stallion is looking flawless and great. Meg Thee Stallion to me is the most gorgeous woman ever on the planet, by the way. If Meg Thee Stallion would sit right here in front of me, I'd be like, well, I guess I'm gay. I'm gay today. But I think Meg Thee Stallion is gorgeous. She's absolutely positively gorgeous. I don't know how y'all can watch Meg Thee Stallion run around on stage in Seoul, and y'all are okay with that. But then if a K-pop singer did it, it is taboo. I make that make sense to me. I don't understand how Sabrina Carpenter can look as fabulous as she does, but run around with nothing on, with a little top, the tickle bitties hanging out. She looks gorgeous. She has little shorts on, and I don't understand how that's okay. And people in Korea listen to Western artists all the time. They listen to rappers. They listen to all the time. Y'all listen to Tate McRae. Tate McRae is my girl. Y'all listen to Doja Cat. Doja Cat on stage. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how it's okay for Western artists and y'all are not shocked or upset or like, oh my God, she shouldn't do that, blah blah blah. But then if a K-pop artist did it, then all of a sudden it's shocking. I don't understand that. I'm like, but I can understand if all you listen to K-pop and that's all you and you like that's what I get it. But most K-pop people listen to other music. Most K-pop people listen to other artists. They don't just listen to Korean artists. They don't just listen to K-pop. I don't understand how y'all get upset and talking about the children when the children is listening to Cardi B. When 14, 15-year-old boys and girls in Korea are listening to Meg Thee Stallion. Y'all listening to Kendrick Lamar. Y'all listening to Drake and Eminem talking about MF for this, MF for that, MF for that, in this, in that. And y'all are like, oh yeah, busting on a beat. They not like us. They not like busting on a beat. Ho, like how is that okay? But then if a K-pop singer say the word shit, y'all are like, oh my God. Oh my God. They said the S word in a K-pop song. And then, oh, it's for children. But I'm like, teenagers listen to worse music, westernized music. Back in the day, yes, when Korea was isolated away from the West, like back in the 90s, early 2000s, maybe. But now music is mainstream. Music is through TikTok and social media. Music is music can be everywhere. So I don't understand how in the hell are y'all upset over K-pop singers saying things and doing things that are considered quote unquote provocative when y'all listen to Western artists do 10 times more provocative shit than what K-pop artists even do. I don't understand why for K-pop artists there's another standard, and then for Western artists y'all just get to run around with your booty cheeks out. I don't understand, and then y'all think that's okay. That is a dichotomy about K-pop that's weirdo to me. That doesn't equate to me, because to me my standards for Western music is my standards for K-pop. I don't differentiate between the two. If I want J-Hope to run around with his no shirt on and dance with a girl, it's because the artists that I watch run around with no shirt on and dance with women. I like Lisa. I love Lisa Blackpink. At least when Blackpink want to get up there and twerk, I'm like, well, shit, damn it, Meg Thee Stallion. I like to twerk. She like to twerk. Lisa, get out there and twerk, girl. Like, girl, wind it, twerk, wind it, Lisa. I want to wind it. Yes. Why? Because I can't be like, well, Lisa shouldn't do that. But then it's okay for Sabrina Carpenter to be out here talking about man, child, titties. Like, well, I'm just like, I'm not understanding. So that's what gives me the biggest thing about K-pop. That just the hypocrisy is somebody gonna have to explain it to me, because I don't understand. To me, artists are artists, singers are singers. If I like this artist and they have this raunchy, sexy image and they do raunchy and sexy things, or their music is a little bit risque, then I wouldn't get mad that another artist wanted to be a little bit of that. Or if they want to do something different, that's fine. But I just can't hold K-pop singers to this impossible standard. And on top of that, these K-pop singers are grown people. And if they're young artists, I don't want to see them out there twerking. But if, I mean, a group that's been around, or a solo artist has been around for a long time, they should be able to explore their sexuality. They should be able to talk about love and relationships. They should be able to do things. But again, I don't hear that from K-pop fans. It's K-pop idols shouldn't date, and K-pop, but then then Sabrina Carpenter can date somebody, or Taylor Swift has a boyfriend, and y'all okay with that? I don't understand that. To me, Taylor Swift is way up here and K-pop is way down here. To me, Taylor Swift is a big time artist. K-idols are like not even on her level. Same thing with Beyonce. She married, she got kids. Beyonce is not some spring chicken. Beyonce is like 40-something years old now. Y'all don't have a problem with that, but then they have a problem with older female artists were they too old to be doing this? Beyonce, but didn't you just go to the Beyonce? Beyonce came to Seoul, but and sold out. So Beyonce can get out here and perform, and she's 40-something years old with 3-4 kids. And that's okay. Beyonce look great. She's fabulous. She's Beyonce. But then if a K-pop singer wants to be 40 years old and she want to go perform, then that's unacceptable. Child, I can't. It drives me crazy. What's good enough for everybody in the industry should be good enough for everybody in the industry. And then if you like Beyonce and what she does and what Taylor Swift does, then you should like Boa and other artists. Or if your favorite, or if Lisa wants to go out there and perform when she's 40 years old, she's still gonna look good. She's still gonna be beautiful. She's still gonna be a performer, entertainer. If she wants to perform when she's 40. Then people be like, well, she too old to be out there. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I'm like, Mariah Carey, old ass out there. Mariah Carey, like, she in her 40s too. Still looking good. Still, there's a lot of artists that are still in the West, still performing, still looking good, men and women, all kinds of genres of music that still go out there and tour and perform and on reward shows, clubs and stuff like that. There should be the same thing in K-pop, but the fans have to push for that. The fans are in this crazy mindset that I just don't understand. Like it's ageism, it's sexism, and it's to me it's hypocrisy. What is good enough for Korean artists should be good enough for the top tier artists. If anything, Taylor Swift and Beyonce and Sabrina Carpenter should be held. It should be the other way around. They should be held to a higher standard than some mid-level K-pop group that is just starting out, or some mid-level K-pop group that is not global. They should be held, aespa should not be held to a higher standard than Taylor Swift and Beyonce, or whatever K-pop singer we're talking about. These singers and groups should not be held to a higher impossible standard than what Western artists are. And it blows my mind that people can have a cognitive dissonance that like, okay, but you listen to this and this is okay, but that's not okay. But then y'all talk about what about the children? Like the KATSEYE thing with the moaning in the adult film. Y'all like, well, one of the members is 17. I guess she's 17 or 18 or something like that. But I'm just like, but y'all okay with other groups doing it? Lord help K-pop. I have to pray for y'all sometimes because, like I said, the hypocrisy is bizarre to me. It makes no sense. And so I'm gonna do some more research. I'm trying to figure. Like I said, I want to know what happened. What happened to K-pop? And I'm gonna do research, and I swear to God, I'm gonna do a video. I'm trying to find. So I have a video. So my video's coming up. I have a video about Under 15, which is about that reality survivor show that was for little girls, and it was totally inappropriate and disgusting. I have my concert vlog of going to see the Rose. Then I'm doing a video about the shaman because everybody keeps asking me to do this video about the shaman, and I am researching, and I'm going to do a video about the shaman, and then I'm going to do a video about what happened to K-pop. I have and what I got to do more research, but yes, the shaman video. It may not be this week, but it may be next week. I try to do two real videos a week, not my live. I do two real videos in a live stream. So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff, and support the channel. I'm about to be monetized on my channel, so I appreciate everybody that has come here for my live streams and watch my videos and help me become monetized. I'm about to be monetized. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I'm monetized. I don't know. I'll know by August the 9th is like when I'm supposed to be I'm in review right now to be monetized. I guess because I have so many videos. I have almost 600 videos. And so I'm trying to figure out like if I do memberships, like what can I offer you guys? I guess if I do do memberships, I guess what I can offer you guys is more rumors. That's the best I can do. Like there's things that I want to tell you guys about desperately, but I can't because my live streams are public. But there are certain things, y'all, that I really want to discuss with y'all and tell y'all about. Things that I hear in the industry that I don't want to come out here and say because I'm not a gossip channel, but I desperately want to tell you guys, well, this is what I heard. And then y'all can take it with a grain of salt. And like I said, most of it is not BTS related, but it's just things I hear about inside the business and what's going on that I can't really talk about here because number one, I don't want to out people that I know. They don't like that. They understand that I have to tread carefully about what I talk about. I can't get too specific on my public videos because I don't know who's watching. And so I can't get too specific. But if I have memberships, then I know who's subscribed to my memberships and I know I can pinpoint who's watching the videos. So I can be a bit more candid because I'll actually know who is in the memberships. And so I have a feeling that I'm not getting people in trouble because I don't want to betray people's trust or get people in trouble. I don't want people losing their jobs because of things I say. And again, I would never give names, but there are certain things going on that if you read between the lines, that if I tell you certain things, you would kind of figure out like, oh, I know what agency or what group that is. So I want to do memberships so I can control like who listens to my videos. And then so I can really tell y'all the tea because I really got a lot of I've been writing things down and I've been holding back because I know I can't get on here publicly and tell you guys about certain things that are going out or certain things that I've heard. And again, when the things that I hear, I take it with a grain of salt, and I advise you guys to take it with a grain of salt as well. But I desperately want to share with you guys the things that I know that are a bit more confidential. And then I feel like if I have paid memberships and you guys pay, and then we can really have conference, then we can really talk. Also, August the 6th is my year anniversary of Army. It's also the day that Sugar got into the scooter. So I plan to do a video sometimes later this month, just going a year in review about Sugar and what has happened to him and what has happened over the course of the year and what has happened with Sugar News. I really want to do a year in review for my bias, because y'all know, if you don't know, Sugar's my bias. He's my alt. And so I really want to talk about, I really want to come on here and have a conversation that the scooter thing happened a year later. And then, and again, my anniversary was the anniversary of the scooter. Became Army the day that Sugar got into the scooter thing. The day the thing happened to Sugar, it was my baptism by fire. And I was thrown into K-pop fandom, pitched into the bowels of hell when the scooter thing happened to Sugar. So I want to do a video where we talk about the scooter incident with Sugar. We talk about what's happened over the year. Has anything changed? Have things stayed the same? I really want to talk to you guys about what's going on with Sugar. He has not been around. Y'all know how I feel about that. Y'all know how I feel. I support anything Sugar wants to do or don't want to do. If he doesn't want to show, he doesn't want to post, that's fine. I support him, and I understand, because the K media is going to eat him alive. And I understand it. And when the anniversary comes up, I'm just going to hold my breath, because I promise you, I was going to cuss. Some outlet is going to probably write something. So y'all get ready for it. August the 6th is the year since the day Sugar Scooter thing. And I promise you, somebody in the K media is going to write something about it. I promise you, they're going to say something about it. I promise at least one is going to say something about the scooter, the stupid scooter thing. I promise you, at least somebody's going to be like, it's been a year now. Yeah. So I promise you, somebody's going to say something about it. But I want to say something about it, but in a positive manner. And then how the K media has continued to still stifle Sugar and kind of driven Sugar into hiding. And I feel like, I don't know if it's his doing, the agency's doing, the media's doing, or all three. And he's done things here and there and appeared in, just in the background of places here and there. But I just feel like, I'm just a little salty about that. I will never not be salty about it, but I respect it. I respect whatever Sugar wants to do. Y'all know whatever Sugar wants to do. I have a smile on my face. I'm happy with it, but it don't mean I gotta like it. Once again, the theme of this whole live stream is like, I don't mean I have to like it. I accept it, but I don't have to like it. I don't like it, but I accept it. So I'm willing to accept things and just go with the flow. But August the 6th, I'm going to do I'm going to do an all day live stream, and where I talk about BTS, and we're kind of going to have I may do a nighttime live stream. We're going to have like a BTS slumber party. I've been promising a slumber party since December. I was like, since November, I was like, we're going to do a BTS slumber party. But my year anniversary is coming up, and I want to celebrate, and I want to have fun, and I want to talk about everything that's going on in the past year. Like I said, my channel didn't really become K-pop until January of this year, that I officially became a K-pop channel. But I just want to talk about my journey of being BTS Army, the things that I learned, and we're just going to have an informal 8 hour. I'm gonna be up all night, y'all. I'm just gonna go full steam. I'm gonna eat my Wheaties, I'm gonna get my rest, and I'm just gonna do a full 8 hour live stream on August the 6th, celebrating that. That's the plan right now. That's the plan right now. I don't know. I'm supposed to go out of town too, so we'll see. I may have to bump it up off the 6th. I may have to put it towards the weekend. I may have to do that. I may do it Friday night. We'll see. Y'all just stay tuned. Y'all. I'll see y'all. Stay tuned. So we'll see how it goes. But I appreciate everybody being here. I haven't eaten anything all day. My days are so busy and long and busy and long. But I appreciate everybody being here. JK, Marsha, Marie, Anybody else that came here, So Young, anybody else that came here, Eric, I appreciate all of y'all all every week. And I'm here every week for y'all to talk to, vent. Sometimes I come here and just vent. Like this is a very ranty, venty live stream. But just stay tuned, y'all. Like I said, that under 15 video, I worked hard on that video. I did a lot of research, worked hard, and it's something. And I had to try not to go off on that video, but we'll talk about it this coming weekend. We're gonna do a whole discussion in my next live stream about under 15 and how outraged I was, and the pictures and we're gonna talk about it. So be back here next weekend. We're gonna talk about that under 15 video, and I'll give y'all more of my opinion about that farce of a reality show. Y'all know I hate reality shows anyway, but we're gonna talk about it. But I may in the future do another video just about the history of survival shows, period, because I don't even know the history of them. But anyway, I gotta go work on my shaman video, so y'all get ready for it, because that shaman video, whoo, baby, it's gonna be a doozy. But anyway, y'all, I appreciate it. I'm finna give me something to eat and watch some TV, and I'm out of here, y'all. I love y'all. I love you. Good night. Good night.